I trip, I go to the hole with a rock like Pippin. Yeah. I'm okay.
What up, though, and welcome to Woodward Heavyweights live on WoodSports.com. I'm usually joined by Spimo Rex,
Hi.
young Chris, Nicholas Kohloff, a.k.a. Microwave Mario.
Let's go.
You also got Caleb in the building. What up, though? Hey, smash that like button, be a friend, tell a friend, share the stream. I sent out a link to a friend of the show, a good buddy of mine, good buddy of ours, who fought for his, well, not his first
Who's
time.
ducking my fade?
Yes, ducking Spinny's fade. After seeing the guy he fought, he probably for sure wasn't fighting you.
Yeah, I mean,
And never actually even asked him because he got like an opponent pretty quick.
yeah.
But Ben,
He doesn't want the
Davis,
smoke.
Yeah.
Come on, Ben. Where the fuck you at? Good at talking shit to all these little guys. Huh? You want with a real black belt?
I'm officially
Take this
uncomfortable.
black belt off and whoop ya. No, he finally got a win. Happy for my guy, Ben.
Shout out.
Because, you know, he was 0 for a lifetime. And now he finally got his first win. Baby's first win.
Damn.
No, I'm just kidding.
Fucking shots.
No,
It's probably the last time we have been on, guys.
No, you know,
Shout out Spinny.
that's what he does. Have you seen all his press conferences, dude? He's built for the podium. He's great at that shit.
He is. He called out Colby Covington
Yeah,
immediately
he
following
did.
his victory.
That shit was awesome.
Yeah, I sent him a link. To be honest, I don't know what time he'll be joining us because he's in the UK. And I don't think either of us mathed that one out right.
No. I remember you texted me at like 2 a.m. and I was hammered. And you're like, you want to fight Ben? I was like, yeah, fuck it. I was like, why? You're like, you need somebody to fight? I was like, all right, sure.
Yeah, he fought Karate Combat, which, I mean, I don't know if we're allowed to play Karate Combat. That's probably the clip I would have sent Chris. This guy named James Vick, he used to fight in the UFC, where he got fucking switch kicked, and he was out for, I think they said like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh my God.
He was
that
out cold.
Crazy. He is, he's fine now. He's awake in the hospital, so prayers up to him.
Prayers up to him. Shout out to Ben for getting the dub.
Shout out to Ben for catching his first dub.
Yep.
Speaking of dubs, speaking of combat sports.
Hold on.
Hold on. Hands of stone.
Feet of stone, dude.
Feet of stone. Fleet of stone. I mean, yeah, he's a fucking beast.
The rest of the card sucked.
Yeah, it was great.
That girl fight was crazy, though.
That was the best fight other than...
It was
Yeah.
crazy
Main
as that was the bathroom break, and I missed it.
Yeah, and it was the best fight other than the main event.
Actually, happy belated to Mariah. We were making our way back from Mariah's birthday party, so I missed that fight. Ian Gary, that one definitely underdelivered.
That fight
I
sucked.
thought they're going to stand and bang. Ian Gary's too
He's a
good
cuck.
that it's boring.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
And he's a cuck.
Like, he knows if you haven't beat somewhere,
He's
he's
just
like,
going to wrestle fuck you.
exactly.
Yeah.
He's good enough to do it. He's
The
going to be...
Ige fight was good in the third round. Like
Yeah.
in the third round,
First
they
round was
started
all right, too.
standing and banging, and Ige dropped his ass a couple times.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dan Ige for being the ultimate savage, taking that fight on 3 hours notice.
Yeah.
Bro got called in on his day off. It was in the co-main event. Like,
I think he's the one that asked.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I could be mistaken.
He shot the text, and he like the text sounded like he would be, I don't know, like hurt if they didn't give him the fight.
Yeah, he's like, please give me this opportunity.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I get it, because now
50K.
he's legend. Now he's legend for doing it. If you guys don't know, Dan Ige took place with Brian Ortega 3 hours before the fight started. That's rarely heard of. You
Yeah.
rarely get that when guys like pull out 2 weeks ahead of time. People just don't want to like jump in and face a guy without having a camp or being in
3
shape or whatever else.
hours.
And he survived.
3 hours before the fight. He almost won.
He did.
The last round, he had him rocked. And, you know, Lopez isn't like a hoe or anything. Like, he's a damn
dog.
good up-and-comer.
Yeah.
It just shows he's a savage. 50K.
And then if we get Ben, just throw your hand up or whatever.
Yeah, I got you.
But either way, to top it all off,
Hell yeah.
Potan coming through, fucking knocked Yuri out. They didn't knock him out, but he dropped him before the end of the first round. Come back.
He pretty much knocked him out.
First strike from the second
Yeah.
round. Laid him
Head
on his
kick,
ass.
dropped him, and then hit him with the finisher while he was on the ground, and Yuri was in bad shape.
Oh, dude,
I was
yeah,
thinking-
stumbling, fumbling around.
We were making fun of Yuri's haircut, and I was talking like, Potan's gonna hold his head up by the fucking ponytail, like at the end of the fight, just decapitated head.
Damn, someone should make that edit.
That should be an edit.
That
Like
definitely
an
should be
anime,
that.
that'd be like an anime thing. Like him holding up the decapitated head by the ponytail.
I might see if AI could do that. Cook that up.
Yeah, I could cook that up.
If
probably.
not, Ryan can, but
Ryan can
obviously
cook it up for sure.
Ryan's got shit to do.
Yeah.
Probably not allowed to have that. Yeah, does he? Good question. Great question.
Lance is just sitting back there watching Jared McCain TikToks. That's all he does.
All right, I had this thought after the fight, though.
I'm just sitting here crying in my prom dress. I'd be the prom queen if crying was a contest.
That's terrible.
That's it's one of his TikToks.
All right, moving on. Would you put Potan in the Hall of Fame?
He's the scariest person I've ever seen in an octagon. I wouldn't be able to tell him he's not in the Hall of Fame. Like, I would hate to have that call. Like,
I would.
You got to go tell Alex Pereira that he didn't make the UFC Hall of Fame.
It's insane.
No, I like my wife and children. Like, no, thank you. I'd like to see my loved ones again.
I did see that tweet. Someone's like, "This guy's got to be a hitman." The trippiest thing,
for sure.
Context for the people that don't know. This is guy. If you don't know who Israel Adesanya is, I'm sad for you. But he was like one of the most exciting guys to fight in the UFC. He was undefeated in the lightweight division. Middleweight division for a long time. Was a champion, and he only been knocked out one time his entire career. It was back when he was kickboxing, and it's by this guy named Alex Pereira. And then he won a fight. He's on top of the world. Everyone's calling him the best ever to do it. One of the best in UFC, like legend, all that stuff like that. And this guy, Alex Pereira, the one guy who ever knocked him out, was an alcoholic in Brazil, sitting at the bar watching him have the speech, and he was like, "Fuck that! I beat this guy."
Yeah.
Got back in shape. Made the UFC. Remember, he's a kickboxer by trade. Goes to the UFC. Starches like 5 dudes straight, including Sean Strickland, former champion, on his way to finally get a match with Israel Adesanya. And then he knocks out Israel Adesanya in the last round of it. He didn't get rocked in that one, but he knocked him out. And he literally hunted down like one of the best fighters in the world. Yeah, he comes out. He's dressing like his... Yeah,
dude, that shit... He's, like I said, he's probably the scariest human to step foot in the octagon.
Yeah, he comes out in his what's word? Indigenous garb from Portugal or Brazil, and knocked him out. Izzy got his lick back. He did knock him back out, but then Perez moved up another weight class, became the champion of that weight class.
Yep,
has defended the belt twice now, and he also this fight he came in. I think it was like 3 weeks notice or something like that. To fight a guy named Yuri Prohaska, who's also a beast, and he just makes no facial. He's just like this the entire time.
He's a savage. He is a cold-blooded killer.
Like guys, and they knock people out, they're like celebrating, they're fucking like, yeah, or like, what?
No, he just
fucking knocks people out.
He's a boss.
He's a fucking beast. Chris?
That was the part that had me like. I'm a very casual when it comes to UFC, so I was at a spot watching it with my friends, and my friend placed a bet on it, and he bet on Pereira, and I was like, please tell me it's the guy that's staring, because there's 2 guys staring right now, and one looks like he really, really means that shit.
Yeah.
Like he's about that life.
Yeah.
That'd be Alex Pereira.
Yeah.
He is...
Dude.
Hands and Stone's his nickname, but he's also got a stone face, too.
He's a scary human being, man.
The knockout before this, I think we talked about it on the show, too, obviously, but he had got hit in the dick. And like usually the referee's like, yo, time. Take 30 seconds, gather yourself. When the referee went to go like come in and say time, he literally grabbed him with one hand while still like without breaking contact. Was like, no.
Yeah.
Move forward. Uppercut, hook, dropped Jamal Hill, former champion of the same division. And yeah, he's a monster, bro.
My question is, how did he
that was
lose?
The ending of April. You know,
how did he lose?
Like ever.
Izzy is one of the best
like
strikers in the history of the UFC.
Yeah, Izzy's great.
He got him. He got his ass a couple times right on the button, and it doesn't matter how big you are,
have one
how
ass
strong
cheek
you
and
are.
3 toes. I will beat your ass.
That button will lights out.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest with you, too, like the first fight, Izzy rocked him, and honestly, the same sequence against the cage and everything, and just the bell happened to just go off at that point. The second fight, Izzy finally got to execute it, but he's still a legend nonetheless. They're talking about him moving up to heavyweight. I got some odds for you, Spinny. Tell me what you think of these. Because Travis texted me. He was too pussy to show up, though. Shout out to Travis.
Shout out Travis.
But he texted me, and he thought I was crazy for saying whatever I said on Twitter.
What'd you say on Twitter?
I agree with the odds. Outside of maybe one. All right. Potan's odds. Alex Pereira versus Ankalaev. He's the Russian kickboxing dude.
Yeah.
Ankalaev's favored by -250.
He's favored.
Yes.
-250.
-250.
Ooh, I would run that money on Pereira. Not gonna lie.
I would too. He's +210.
Yeah.
The only reason why, and I meant to make a graphic for this, but I just got busy at work. By the way, hit me up, Suburban Ford of Ferndale, if you guys are looking for a whip.
Shout out.
Easy
Whip.
flips.
But Ankalaev's got a little bit of grappling in him. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He's never really faced an American wrestler. Not that Ankalaev's American, but he's fucking Dagestani wrestling. He's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
All right. The next one. And these are the ones that for sure make sense.
Sorry.
No, good.
Did you hear about the dude in Khabib's camp that got
terrorists.
Yeah, the terrorist shit. Me and Mustache were talking about it when we were watching the fight. And we were like,
I didn't see the details.
Is the Dagestani police force like? Do they just wrestle people? Like they don't have guns or anything. No shoot, just smash.
Yeah, probably.
They're like wearing those big ass fluffy hats, pulling up on bears, just hopping up and fucking wrestling.
Pulling up on bears, actually, that's the funniest part about it.
No shoot, only smash.
That's the one where I could see maybe being a little bit crazy, just because they're in the same weight class. Ankalaev, although he can grapple, he's still more known as a striker. All right, chat, you guys play along too. The next one is John Jones. That's what Joe Rogan wants. That's what everyone's asking him to do is move up to heavyweight. John
Jones would wrestle fuck the shit out of him.
Yes.
He's one of the best wrestlers in the UFC, if not the best wrestler in the UFC.
Minus 1-800, jeez, minus 800 favorite.
Yeah, I mean.
That makes sense.
It makes so much sense.
All right, cool.
He would just wrestle the shit out of him. It's exactly what he did to, was Cyril Gane?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, John Jones is the best wrestler in the UFC right now. He would work Pereira.
All right, the next one is Tom Aspinall, and a move up to heavyweight as well. Who do you think's favorite in that one?
Probably Aspinall, but it should be Pereira, honestly.
It's minus 400, Tom Aspinall.
I would put money on Pereira in that
Pereira
one.
plus 300.
Because Aspinall wouldn't try to take him down. They would just stay.
They wouldn't. However, I'm pretty sure his first discipline was jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
His dad was like the first like black belt in the UK or something like that. Well, yeah.
But he wouldn't do that. He would.
Yeah, he'd be a man.
Aspinall would stand and bang.
He wouldn't be Ian Gary about it.
No. John Jones would wrestle him, and he would embarrass him.
How do you guys feel about that, by the way? Like the guy that like...
I mean, dude, I would do the same thing if I was John Jones. Why would I sit there and stand and bang with the hardest hands in the UFC when I could easily out-wrestle him for 25 minutes?
So what's your reaction to Ian Gary's fight then?
I mean...
Because he decided
That's what he did. That's why everybody knew what he was going to do.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks. I'm more disappointed at MVP looking like he has never wrestled before in his life.
I wonder if he caught in the press conferences or not, but I guess he paid somebody in his camp to try to figure out somebody in his camp offered to pay Ian Gary's jiu-jitsu coach to like, get some like inside information. And obviously Ian Gary's coach is like, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
It's a judo box gym in Brazil, so they're kind of close.
Yeah, I mean, MVP looked like he's never been on the mat before in his life. That was embarrassing.
That was embarrassing.
You got to know that that's what guys are going to do, though. You got to be able to get out of a body triangle in less than 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even like trying to.
Oh my! What a poll! Can we get 200 likes for Easy to keep his job? Replace him with golf. 1-800 Bad Bones says John F. and Lord. That works too. Ian Gary's impossible to like now.
He was impossible to like after he took his wife's ex-husband's name. That made it impossible.
That was crazy.
That was kind of bad. Yeah. That was kind of tough to recover from. Caleb, did you get to watch the fights this weekend?
I went golfing and then
nice.
Got a little too drunk, fell asleep at maybe 7 o'clock.
Where'd you go?
Copper Hills.
Nice. How'd you shoot?
Like shit, and I'm pissed about it.
Yeah,
I've been thinking about it all weekend. It's a hard course, though.
I got a BDE round this weekend. Well, we're going to look around. Me, Neil, Stick, and D-Mac, I think.
Where you guys headed?
Sunday. I don't know. There's Sylvan Glen, probably. I don't know. I know there's wherever Neil, there's a course right by Neil's house.
On the weekend or some shit?
Sunday, yeah.
Is it like for content, or you guys just going?
No, just go shoot around.
Went yesterday in Detroit. Shot pretty good, but I was right there with Caleb. I was deathly hungover.
Oh yeah,
but it was good to get out on the course.
Me and Neil are gonna be pounding neutrals.
Well, it was kind of. Go ahead.
Good to get moving a little bit yesterday. I needed to walk some of the Friday and Saturday off for sure.
It was kind of cool. Because I woke up at like midnight and I was hungover, and then I just went back to bed and woke up the next day and I was fine.
Hey.
Yeah.
It'd be like that.
Did anything happen today in sports for Detroit Pistons, Red Wings? Anything popping off, fellas?
Not too much.
Pretty tame weekend. We don't have much to talk about.
Yeah. No new coaches, no new players.
New contracts.
No trades.
Massive extensions.
Yeah, we had to think about it during break, maybe. Maybe we'll come up with something.
Yeah, maybe we got to go to break first, and maybe we'll come up with something to talk about for 2 hours. I don't know. It's going to be tough to fill, but...
Yeah.
Tell us about Mark White, Easy.
I'll tell you about Mark White. He's the best in the game when it comes to real estate. That's Mark White. Make sure you hit him up, guys. You want a good deal on your house? Mark White's going to shop and find the best for you. Mark White will get you right.
Mark
Contact
White.
him today at 8242, or visit them at markwhitesells.com.
$5,000 of your closing fees getting paid.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Yo, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and Thursdays during Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that DMAG trusts. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
What up, though? Welcome back to World Weights Live on WorldSports.com. Boy Easy, joined by Spinmo Rex.
Hello.
Young Chris, Nicholas Kohloff, a.k.a. Microwave Mara. We also got Caleb in the building as well.
Go.
Make sure you guys smash that like button, be a friend, tell a friend, share the stream.
All right, where are we starting? What are we starting with?
Hey.
Should we start with Cade?
Yeah.
Or should we start with
start with Cade.
With Toby? You can get smacked by Obi.
36-year-old, something you don't know me.
Let's start with Cade.
Too old, let go, it's over. Nobody listen techno, but let's
go.
Just give me the symbol, I'll be there with a
simple.
I said pencil.
I've been dope, suspenseful with a pencil ever since Prince turned himself into a symbol. Ding!
Copyright.
Sometimes
too good.
Shit just seems that everybody only wants to discuss me.
But it's just me,
I'm
yeah, it's
disgusting. But it's just me. I'm just obscene.
So you are an Eminem fan.
No, I'm not the worst king of controversy. I am the worst thing since Elvis Presley to do black music so selfishly.
You're not just
use
using
it myself wealthy. Hey.
Here's a contract of verse.
20 million other white
rappers emerge, but no matter how many fish in the sea,
you'll be so empty without me.
Banger.
Let him cook.
All right. Cade Cunningham.
Cade Cunningham.
$226 million.
226 across 5 years.
How you feel?
I mean, yeah, I love it. What do you mean how I feel? Love it. Deserved it. Good for Cade. Now build around him. You paid him what he deserved to be paid. He had one of the best rookie seasons in NBA history. He had a top 20 season last year statistically. This is a guy that is going to be your franchise going forward, and you paid him to be your franchise going forward. Now put some pieces around him. They started to do that, pieces that complement his game, and you like to see that. So hopefully he can stay healthy, he can get out there, he can make some things happen, and you paid him what he deserved, what he earned, and what he's worth. So now continue to build around him so he can go out there and he can win you a lot of games.
Now, there are some verbiage out there, some terms out there that's still imminent. It just hasn't happened yet. I don't know what the holdup is. I don't have any details on that, but I have no issue with this. I know it's going to happen at some point. I don't see it not happening. I actually would be blown away if it didn't happen, to be honest.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
$46 million per year? Does that work out to?
Less than Scotty Barnes. A lot less than Scotty Barnes.
That's a deal. And that's the standard nowadays, too. It just is. And he's going to end up being the best player on your team no matter what happens, unless Ron Howland becomes fucking, I don't want to say
Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, that's not that crazy.
Sorry, I had a hiccup. Holla if you hear me. Chris?
I mean, this, and I don't want to speak too granular here, but this reminds me of a lot in the sense of the Steph Curry extension, where you got him at a deal because of because of the way his contract is compared to, like you said, Scotty Barnes, his qualifications obviously allowed him for more money. So with Cade Cunningham, because of his missed times and lack of NBA recognition in terms of awards, you got him at a cheaper price than a Scotty Barnes. And I know that right now a lot of people will lean Scotty Barnes because he's played more games than Cade Cunningham, but I wholeheartedly believe Cade Cunningham is not only a better player, but a better building block than Scotty Barnes. No disrespect to Scotty Barnes. So I love this deal. Spencer said everything. It's now that you put the actual money into him, now you need to really surround him with talent and let him play to his strengths, because you haven't done that for the first 3 years of his career.
Yeah, it's you love to see it. You love to see it. We knew it was going to happen. Some of you were saying it wasn't going to happen for some reason, or don't do it for some reason, but the Pistons are smarter than you, and they paid the guy that's going to be your franchise player for the next at least 5 years.
Yeah, there's been some massive stats flowing around, but one that I've said before, he's the 6th fastest player to 2,500 career points, 800 assists, with Oscar Robertson, Allen Iverson, Doncic, Trae Young, and LeBron. This is a no-brainer. Yeah. That's the type of guy that you have on your team already that you have to build around and support him, like we've all just said. And to that fact, we have brought in a couple guys the last few days here.
Yeah, I know Mark Royal isn't happy. Steve O'Baby says, Spencer, how do you think Cade and Tim Hardaway Jr. will play if they're on the floor at the same time this season?
That's the best case scenario.
And it's perfect. I think Tim Hardaway Jr. should be starting on this team this year. Like, that is exactly what you need opposite of Cade. It's a guy who's hit 210 plus three-pointers the past 2 years in a row. So you put him out there on the wing, you let Cade cook, and he's standing there like this. And he gets the ball. It's weird trying to shoot with my right. Gets the ball, and he puts it up, and it goes in a lot of the time. So, yes, that is the exact player you want standing next to Cade Cunningham in the backcourt.
Even if you were on the side of the stick side, the weirdos. I love you, Stick. But, like, if you wanted to trade Cade Cunningham, he becomes infinitely more valuable when you have him on a longer deal versus, like, a gun for hire, a mercenary, if you will.
Well,
because if you just have him that 1 year, that's a guy you want under contract for a while.
The Pistons will never trade Cade Cunningham willingly. It is on Cade Cunningham. If he wants out, he'll ask out, but he doesn't. I'm happy. First of all, I'm happy for the family because they are great people.
Yes, they are.
The Cunninghams are great people. I'm happy for Cade. I'm happy for Cannon. I'm happy for Ashton. I'm happy for all of them.
Real ones.
Because they are really, like, down to earth, genuinely good human beings. So I'm really happy to see Cade get this generational wealth. He's earned it. This is what he's, trained for and worked towards his whole life. And it's awesome for them to be in this situation now to reap the benefits. And I'm excited to have Cade. Like, you guys remember how excited I was when we first drafted him? I bought the jersey that day. I said, we finally got a player that's going to have his own signature shoe on the Detroit Pistons. And I'm going to buy that the day it comes out. I'm excited for Cade Cunningham. I'm excited they got some shooters to put around him.
Yeah.
And I'm excited that he signed that deal.
Yeah, once Cade inks this deal, this is you just completed a really, really big step in the rebuild. You found your corner piece guy. And that's a tough thing for a lot of rebuilding teams, but you're going to give Cade $46 million. That's the market for a player like Cade. And, I'm happy he's the guy that's going to be leading this franchise and hopefully bring winning basketball back to Detroit.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess I don't see a situation where it's anything bad. I will keep it out in the comment section. If somebody wants to make a case, somebody would like to call in, sure. I just don't. There's just no way.
No one can see this as a bad thing.
Yeah.
This is an all-around win. Please. For the Pistons, they got him on a cheaper deal than Scotty Barnes, who is a worse player than Cade Cunningham, flat out. I don't care. Toronto, eat shit. This is our week. This is our week, baby. Yeah. 4th of July. You better come around. You're lucky we don't have a show, so I'll be souped up, eating glizzies, shouting USA. You can eat shit, Canada. I know it's Canada Day today, but in 3 days, it's America. But, Raptors, you guys can eat shit. Cade's a better player. Look at the stats of Scotty Barnes, Rookie of the Year, Fugazi Disney-ass Trophy Award.
Like, Scotty Barnes could be excellent and great in his role, but Cade Cunningham is like the face of a franchise. Scotty Barnes is more as that the Robin.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's just what it is.
Scotty Barnes
is great, but he's not a Batman.
Yeah, he seems like a tough guy to build around, Scotty Barnes.
Yeah, you're not. He's a you're not. Yeah. I can't even think of what he is. He's a
glorified Draymond.
Yeah, really. With a lot less playmaking.
Is it because he won the Rookie of the Year is why he got the bigger extension, so he was able to do it? So, I mean, in hindsight, we got the deal on it because we all thought Cade should have been Rookie of the Year.
That's
at least I did, personally. Yeah, I'm kind of happy looking back
Saved
on it
about $50 million.
Let's go.
And that's why I brought up the Cade. That's why I brought up the Cade point, or the Curry point, was that obviously that led to a dynasty, and there was more moves that happened than just that. But one of the reasons they were able to get Kevin Durant to build that super team even before Kevin Durant and get guys like Bogut who are higher contract guys is because their lead guy Steph Curry had injury issues, and so his extension. He didn't get the highest level max. So these are the type of things that, going forward, if this new regime actually takes the right steps and builds the right team, this can really, really benefit this team. So it's a win on every single level.
Which, real quick, too, anybody that has that, still thinks Scotty's better. Scotty is the face of his team this year. They only won 11 more games than the Detroit Pistons. Yeah. And by the way, he still had viable pieces at certain points in the season.
Yeah, he had Pascal Siakam for 70% of the season. Like Luigi Gaming says, Scotty is touched by the tism for sure. If you guys haven't seen those contemplations, go look them up because they're really funny.
Compilations.
He contemplates being tismed.
Well, the best one, I think we talked about it before too, was he said something to Giannis. And Giannis, English already isn't his first language, so he's like, what?
It's like imagine
bro.
English being your second language. It was at the All-Star game.
Hey guys, I said, what?
The one of him like running down the tunnel like this or whatever, and he'll like just scream on the back. Like, dude, he's definitely a
dog.
He's our little special guy, special man.
I'd like to have Scotty.
Oh yeah, Scotty's acoustic for sure, but
got no.
he's definitely a good player. Like
Nick,
both things can be true.
Were you about to say something?
Oh. No, I was just confirming that he got the higher value because the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, that's.
And he was an All-Star this year.
Mm-hmm. Was he really?
Yeah,
good for him.
That's what that Giannis video is from. It's from the All-Star game.
Oh yeah. Well, Nick, what do you watch first thing in the morning?
Porn.
Every single morning. You know what I put on? It's the Morning Woodward Show. It's 8 to 10 a.m. live on Woodward Sports. Join Kool-Aid, Flannel Sam, Broder, JB, and KG every morning as they cover all of Detroit sports. Every morning when you wake up, make sure you're waking up with Woodward, 8 to 10 a.m. live on Woodward Sports.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had the spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How? Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at randywisechevy.com.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports. Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings. From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit FeldmanAuto.com to find the location nearest you. And catch Woodward Sports Network live from Feldman Chevrolet of Novi every other Monday. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
Whoa. Did not expect this song.
We're cooking with other. We're cooking
like some 90s.
There's Spenny's, Spenny cut-ups in there. That
I'll look for
lyrics over it. Do you?
Definitely be better.
Yeah, you don't like this one.
This is the
It's a
poor
little
choice
too
for sure.
groovy.
Yeah, way
I don't know.
Way to kill the vibe, Nick.
Yeah, it feels like an AAM song for sure.
All right.
Welcome back to the Dan Patrick Show. This ain't that.
Jim Rome is burning.
What up, though? Welcome back to World Heavyweights Live at WorldSports.com. I'm Easy, joined by Spinmo Rex, Young Chris, Microwave Mario. We got Caleb in the building as well. Yes, we got the Cade Cunningham contract out of the way. Yes, I think everybody and their mom should be approving of that one. This one has been controversial, I guess. JB Bickerstaff. Detroit Pistons are planning to sign him. 4-year deal as their new head coach.
Yeah.
How you feel?
I mean, I'm fine with it. I think it was the best out of the options remaining. Like, the JB Bickerstaff's flaws are in the playoffs. So you're not going to be in the playoffs anytime soon, so you don't really got to worry about that. This is a guy who's going to come in immediately and help the defense. He has a good defensive scheme, but, Cleveland also has very good defensive players. So that is a big part of him having, I think it was 4th, 5th, and 6th ranked defenses when he was in Cleveland.
Yeah.
But you look at guys like Aquaro, Garland, Mobley, Jared Allen, like those are very, very good.
Jared Allen and Mobley alone.
Very good defenders in the NBA. So, I mean, you've got some on this team. You got Ron Holland projects to be a very good defensive player.
Yeah,
Oscar Thompson is a very good defensive player. Cade Cunningham is a good defensive player. So we'll see. It's definitely going to help the defense, which was piss poor last year. I like that. Bickerstaff brings an edge to him. He's not the
I love that part.
He's not the soft Monty Williams who's going to sit in the corner and just when the refs are doing everything, he's not just going to let Cade get slapped across the head and no foul get called and just be fine with it. He's going to chirp to some refs. He'll get ejected a couple times. He'll fire up the guys a little bit. So the things that come into question with him are his rotations and his offensive game plan. But again, this team has so much it needs to fix. I like focusing on a defense first because, you can put up 120 points, but when you're giving up 140, you're never going to win the game.
Yeah, with me, I never really got the playoff knocks on him. I mean, I guess maybe you could look at rotations and that'd be the judgment of it. But, what were the true expectations of the Cavaliers heading into this playoffs?
Not much. And
they also got eliminated to the world champions, the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, I think it's more so
and they
last
also
year.
lost their best player in that series. I guess I'm not real big on the playoff lows, I guess, in JB Bickerstaff. I feel like we've yet to see what that is. He only coached, 3-4 years in Cleveland before, ultimately, obviously, getting, the canned. I don't think he was to blame of anything because you couldn't blame anything. You had a successful season. You lost your best player in the playoffs, and you weren't going to beat the world champions to begin with. What were the true expectations here to say that he was a low or a letdown in the playoffs? I don't feel that way. I like the fact that he came out of a rebuild. He rebuilt them up to playoff contingency, and then obviously they grabbed Donovan Mitchell, which that probably threw a wrench in a little bit of what he's been preaching the past few years. And maybe you could say there's a lull in the offensive development because you have a guy you can just let go, and maybe they're trying to figure out.
Darius
they
Garland,
had a good situation.
Darius Garland and Colin Sexton were playing very good together. He had Lowry Markkanen budded into an all-star under his tutelage.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad at it at all.
The other thing too is they. Similar to what this may be, I don't know what we're going to look like in terms of starting lineup. We can discuss that a little bit later too. But at one point, Larry Markkanen, Evan Mobley, and then Jared Allen, only one of those big guys is really shooting threes. Evan Mobley's not doing it consistently enough. He made that work offensively.
And they were all playing together.
That is a weird, wonky lineup to run. It just is in modern basketball. You want to beat guys off the dribble. I feel like ultimately that was their downfall. But he still made that work enough to where they went to the playoffs. I respect that in a coaching sense. I think this guy's a good coach. And we're kind of in a similar situation right now where it's we have a couple bigs that can shoot or stretch guys that can shoot, and we're going to have to start, depending on what I guess the rest of free agency looks like, Duran, Holland, or Asar, and then Fontecchio or Tobias. He's going to be able to make that work. I think he's an actual good NBA coach. I don't have any concerns about that. I think I'm excited about this. I like this hiring a lot. I don't see why people are down on it at all whatsoever.
No.
But Chris, you were.
I am. I've changed my tune a little.
Okay.
I've come around a little bit. I'm still relatively where I was, but a lot more optimistic about it because you guys made a lot of good points, and those were things that I thought about positively when I first got the hire. Was he is a guy that worked with a team that's on a similar timeline. He seems to, outside of really Donovan Mitchell, get along with all of his stars and young players, which is always a good sign. Because today's coaching, you not only need to be good with the X's and O's, but you also need to be able to have those personal relationships. And that was where Monty really, really fell short. And so I like even that New York Knicks game when he's like, this is unacceptable, and he just walked out. even that looked like it was like WWE. It looked like he didn't even really care. Like he was just, it looked like somebody being fake mad, being dramatic for TV.
Yeah.
Whereas like JB Bickerstaff, I have no doubt that I think he's going to come into this job also hungry too, because he knows he hasn't gotten in his mind the right crack at the apple. So I don't think it's crack at the apple. It's bite at the apple. But I'll say this. My thing is still with him that I don't see him being a top 10 coach. So I would have, and I know it's much more risk adverse, I would have took a swing on a young, unproven coach, because I feel like, and that's where maybe I'm just wrong, but I feel like we've seen most, if not close to his upside. I understand the fit scenarios, but I also have never seen a coach that's really kind of exceeded expectations. I feel like a lot of times he's gotten his team to a good place where their talent roster indicates they should be. And I think that good coaches will, exceed expectations to varying degrees. Like you look at the Sacramento Kings, not this year, but the year before, they absolutely exceeded expectations. And I think that's what I'm waiting to see, that type of season with JB Bickerstaff, where they're only projected to win 25 games and they win 38. Like that's my only thing with him.
And Sweeney and Chris Quinn and even Borrego, I don't project any of them to be a top 10 coach in the NBA ever either.
Borrego pulled himself from fantasy
contention.
Well, yeah.
And this is a guy who, if the Pistons had the success that the Cavs have had in the past 3 years, all of us would be saying, build a statue for JB Bickerstaff. If they went out there and they made the playoffs a couple of years in a row and they won a playoff series and they had these young guys making all-star teams and being potential all-NBA type players, the Pistons would be Detroit would be throwing parades for JB Bickerstaff. So if he can go out there and do that with the Pistons, that is an all-around win.
And all due respect to, I don't think this is somewhere where we are at the fucking bottom of the bottom. Like somebody said something to me on Twitter, like, you act like this is sky falling. No, there's no sky falling situation. The Pistons are, sky's falling.
Yeah, it's falling.
Yeah, it's all down, shattered around you right now. Yeah. So, like, I don't think this is a situation you want to bring a new coach in. I'd rather have somebody proven to have done it before. Now, as Monty fit that narrative last year, however, what we didn't know is, before being all excited about it, he was off the job 3 times before he actually said yes. We didn't know about the wife and stuff like that until he hit the. That's another thing too. The national media kind of dogging the Monty firing and all that good stuff like that, which I get from money standpoint, but doesn't count against the cap space. So you can't really shit on the team from that aspect. But what they're missing is the fact that he didn't want to fucking coach the team. He didn't want. He wanted to remain at home with his wife.
Yeah.
This is not that same situation. You have an experienced guy who's brought this out of the gutter before with another franchise. This is the type of coach you want. A guy that has experience doing that. A guy that you can buy into because he says, this is what I did here. We're talking about Dan Campbell stuff all the time. It's like, when you have examples of what you've done, it's easier to sell versus like, hey, I think this is going to work.
Yeah.
You
believe in me.
Yeah, exactly. Believe, you have this works. I did this here. You know what I'm saying?
And this is a guy who's hungry in his own right. He wants to prove that he is a good coach in this league,
he was
like what he did in
on the way out
Cleveland.
there.
He wants to show them, hey, this in the same division as the team that fired him after giving them so much success, since the most success they've had since LeBron left. That's a chip on his shoulder, and he's a fiery guy. I want to prove them wrong. I want to show the NBA, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and everybody that doubted me that I am a good coach and I can do this again, rather than just being content with what you had.
I felt like he was the scapegoat of that playoff series.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah, it was. So he's coming here with a chip on his shoulder, something to prove, which is good for Detroit specifically. Because, obviously everything that happened with Monty, like you just stated, like this guy wants to be here. He wants to grab this thing and pull it from the worst season in franchise history to something you can look back and be proud on. And I love the fact that he's won a playoff series in the past with a team like Cleveland, an up-and-coming team. So I'm excited about this hire, to be quite honest. And I think he's going to be a right guy with some vets in here as well to get this thing turned around, at least going in the right direction.
Caleb, how you feeling about JB Bickerstaff?
Yeah, I'm not necessarily jumping up and down about it, but I'm not mad about it either. I mean, we were, like Easy said, we're the bottom of the barrel. We're terrible. So we didn't have a lot to choose from. But yeah, he does have a chip on his shoulder. I'm hoping he can. I just want to see him get the most out of a guy we just talked about, Cade Cunningham.
Yeah.
I want him to turn him into a perennial all-star, which I think he could do. And I also want him to get the most out of the other young guys, Asar Thompson, Jalen Duren, help them reach their full potential. But yeah, 4 years with a team option for the 5th year. I like it. It's like I said, I'm not jumping up and down, but I'm not too mad about it either.
I mean, look, I'm still not completely bullish on the hire. I would have personally took the more risk adverse approach and seen, because I feel like JB Bickerstaff, I got a close to good feeling of what his ceiling is in my mind. And if I'm wrong,
what do you see that ceiling as?
I see that ceiling as, pretty much like Dwayne Casey was, where things have to break. Yeah, no, in Toronto, where things have to break absolutely right for him to even get to a conference finals. I
take that 100%.
I think he's a good coach. Yeah, which is why I'm fine with it, because ultimately I understand he could be a bridge coach, and that's fine. And you know what? Right now, you need anything to get you out of the depths of hell that you're in. So I'm not all the way against the hiring. I just think that there is a ceiling here.
Chris was saying that. Does that mean you had expectations of Cleveland winning a championship?
No.
I gotta understand where you thought the team was gonna go.
I just don't. I've never watched game film on him and been like, those were some great adjustments. Those were great moves that were made. And I'm not talking about the Boston series. So before you even say that, no, they're supposed to get road killed by Boston. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the New York series where they showed up flat that entire series. And then I'm also talking the Orlando series, which was a young team. That was a team that, like, I'm sorry, I like Orlando. I like the talent on their roster, but I don't think it should have gone 7. I really don't. I think Cleveland, especially having a playoff experience, a playoff season guy like Mitchell, I don't think that series should have went 7 personally. So to me, when I'm watching it, again, I'm not watching him saying this guy's a terrible coach, but I'm not watching him and saying those were great adjustments. Kind of like how a lot of people felt about Joe Mazzulla this year until they won the championship. They were constantly criticizing his rotations, his everything. They were just like, I've yet to see those good adjustments. This year, we saw good adjustments from him. So maybe he can prove me wrong. Yeah, but that's where I'm at.
Before we go to breaking news. Speaking of the Celtics, Jason Tatum has agreed to a 5-year, $315 million Supermax extension with the Celtics. Maximum contract extension through the 2029-2030 season. Sources tell Athletic and Stadium. It's now the largest deal in NBA history. A lot of money for a number 2.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys saw this today, but Boston announced that they're selling their team. So the ownership is
they're selling like a big share of it.
Was it a big share? Or was it majority?
Majority
share.
Yeah.
But the one guy's still like the main guy, I guess.
A lot of money.
Is he gonna
for number 2.
Cuban it kind of then?
I'm gonna see. I'm looking it up. I know what you're talking about though.
Tell us about Swiss.
I'll tell you about Swiss Insurance right now. Mark's the best in the business. Make sure you check him out. The number 1 draft pick for us here at Woodward Sports, and they can be the number 1 pick for you. Make sure those rates and deductibles aren't climbing up, and contact Mark today at 313-530-1698. That's 313-530-1698.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Ham for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
How would you like to golf at the University of Michigan golf course with the best University of Michigan receiver in history, Braylon Edwards, and more? Join the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. It's so simple right now. All you have to do is scan the QR code above my head, and you have the opportunity to golf with local celebrities and big celebrities like Braylon Edwards, Jim Harbaugh, and Tim McCollum. Scan the QR code above my head to join the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. What up, though? Welcome back to World Heavyweights live on WoodSports.com. I'm your boy Easy, joined by Spimo Raxter.
What up, though?
Nicholas Kohloff.
Let's go.
A.K.A. Detroit Mario. We got Caleb in the building as well. We got, there's national stuff we react to. There's also, stuff we got going on here. I mean, Obviously, Jason Tatum just signed for $300+ million.
It's crazy.
That is crazy. The biggest contract in NBA history.
Holiday deserves more.
Klay Thompson, no longer at the Warriors.
Yep. To the Mavs.
To the Mavs. There's that. What else? I guess big.
Mavs are loading up.
Mavs are loading up. Did they grab anybody else that I'm missing?
They grabbed my guy, Najee Marshall, the one I wanted. Number 3 in corner threes in the NBA, I believe. It was like 3 or 4.
And he's a good defender.
And he's a dog defender. And they got Quentin Grimes, who, again, if that guy hits his ceiling.
About that, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Damn, they did load up.
G-Leaguer.
I mean, look, if he stays on the court, he's a dog on
No,
defense. And if he
play.
can shoot the three,
if he can stay healthy, he'll be a decent player.
That's a great player for them.
I don't know about great.
I mean, all you got to do is catch and shoot threes and defend.
That's a really good player for them. Especially they just dealt what they did in the finals.
Yeah.
With no defense in the front court. But either way, also Paul George to the Sixers.
Yep.
Yeah. With Maxey.
Which is crazy. That feels like something that would make sense, but I still don't think it's going to work.
Him and Embiid. Neil said him and Embiid are going to play 3 quarters together next year. Not 3 quarters of the season. 3 quarters.
I heard a take. I wonder if you guys agree. If you're Paul George and you realize that this is where you're at in your career with no ring, you bounce around to a couple teams. Would you have rather just stayed in Indiana and been a hero, been like a Reggie Miller, get your statue?
Yes.
Or would you rather,
like if you like hindsight?
Yeah, like hindsight wise.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I mean, well, no, he's from LA.
To join Kawhi Leonard fresh off like his run that he was on,
and he's from LA.
In LA, in your hometown, like everyone would have took the bait.
He would definitely want to do that.
You think he
to
would
be honest
do it
with
all
you,
over
that
again?
should have worked. I have no clue why that didn't. I mean, obviously the injuries and whatnot, but
I think they needed a point guard. I think they needed a true point guard the whole time, and they never really had one consistently.
Speaking of crazy sign, the Spurs got a point guard,
Yeah.
Chris Paul.
Yeah,
That's great.
And they're in talks
That's
with Big
huge.
Ass Shotgun. Looks like Larry Marketing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
That would be. They would be so good.
They'd be a playoff team.
Yeah.
Bro,
Oh,
Chris
they're
Paul-
probably a
I
playoff
think they're a
team now.
playoff team now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think so?
I think so.
I think they're playing heading into the season.
I think they're a playoff
Now,
team
yeah,
right now.
playoff right now.
Yeah, and
I'd
if
say
they
so.
get Lowry Marketing, I think they are a contender for
That's so crazy.
a lot more. Like Lowry
You don't think so?
Marketing, Chris Paul, and Wemby.
No. I'm saying that's crazy how fast it changed. Like, look at where they
Yeah,
were.
well, when you got a top
Yeah.
fucking 10 player in the NBA and he was a rookie,
Yeah.
that's what's gonna happen.
That'll do it, Donkey.
I gotta say, I gotta be on wax with this. Is Philly's second round exit incoming?
Yeah,
Still.
for sure.
Like that's happening,
Oh, for
no
sure.
doubt. Even though Paul
They're gonna
George
lose
is
my
there.
Knicks.
I
They're
seen
losing
I
to
seen a
someone.
post that said who's stopping Philly, and it was Maxey, Paul George, and Embiid. I threw it in the group chat, and it was just spotlights.
Yeah.
Just, this
you got
team,
PG
notorious
13%
chokers.
and Joel Embiid in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Not a good combination when your 2 best players are notoriously awful in the playoffs.
But on paper, it looks good though.
On
It
paper,
really
it looks
does.
very good.
So they might be in talks for Laurie. What do you think they have to give up? Because
Spurs?
that's obviously the question. I mean, we know things have been flying off the shelves like first rounders. So you giving up like 3 first, Keldon Johnson. What gets that deal done
dude.
to bring him in?
They are shipping Keldon Johnson first thing. Mr. 1 for 17. Get him off. Get him off. No, but it's the Atlanta picks, San Antonio picks. Like they got picks, but they even got a Charlotte pick that they could trade. So they got plenty in the stash.
The Jazz would be so smart to do that. They already have so many picks, and you could probably get 3 more first round picks for Larry Marketing.
Yeah.
I would do that tomorrow.
Especially if you get like a Charlotte or an Atlanta, like these teams. Like again, Atlanta could blow it up.
Atlanta is not re-signing Sadiq Bey.
Yeah, I saw that. It
Bring him
sucks to
home.
know we got the money to make a lot of these moves, but we're
Ain't
just
mad
not in
at
a
it.
position to do it. It's not even fun to like.
Bring Sadiq Bey home.
No. He didn't. No.
Bring him
I
home.
let him shoot threes.
Another
off the
Piston
bench.
goat off the board is Mason Plumlee. He signed somewhere.
You know who the
today.
Pistons did bring home though?
Ah.
Maybe I should
You
wait
should-
on this one a
Yeah,
little
you
bit.
should wait on
we got
that
a little
one.
break here soon.
Because that's going to be our clip. So just do a whole segment on it.
All right. Tobias Harris.
Tim Hardaway Jr. They brought home. We already
We talked about that one on Friday though. No, the Tobias Harris stuff because we could clip this and you could swing them together. Whatever word you want to use. Swing them together. You know, Tobias Harris. Detroit Pistons did bring back Tobias Harris. Obviously, I don't know if it's obvious, but if you guys tune to the show every day, I was
Very
vehemently
adamant
against
against
this when I thought it cost a certain price. I had a certain somebody reach out to me. I think last weekend. When was that? Yeah, it was last week.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, he's coming. He wants to come here. He's got family here. And no, it's not going to be at that price. He understands like what it is. And that came to fruition. Said source.
$4 million less.
Yeah, 2 years, $52 million, $26 million a year, no options, just straight up. That's what it is. I guess I get it. I get it from a basketball standpoint. I always have. I just never didn't like the money part of it because we're in a situation where I just wanted to acquire assets. However, for the vibes, if the vibes a thing to get a feel, to grow comfortable in this franchise, if you're Cade Cunningham and we want you to stay here, then we got to give you something to work with to at least show you, yourself, or like that you have faith in this coach, this team, this franchise. That's what it was. Now, did it cost more than what I wanted it with? Yes.
Yes.
But whatever. It makes sense. They're definitely winning a lot more games than 14 now. And Tobias, the guy that consistently stays healthy.
A lot more?
Lots aggressive.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
A lot's aggressive.
That's aggressive?
A lot more than 14. Can we get up to? Is 24 a lot more?
I was
going to
say I would put it at
22.
I would put it at 23.5 is the over under if I was setting it right now.
Yeah. I'm not even mad. I was going to say 22 and a half. And I would probably set the under to be safe.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. But I listen, now and I think you can now stagger Ivy and Cade. Have Ivy come off the bench. Because Ivy will then have Fontecchio to help him stretch the floor and do what he needs to do to run as the guy.
Yeah, and we'll see. I mean, we talked about I had all the cousins coming after me on Twitter because I said how much different is Tobias and Tim Hardaway Jr. to Alec Burks and Bojan Bogdanovic, and it's really not that different when you think about it. But for what the Pistons were last year, without those guys, yeah, obviously Tobias Harris is an improvement from what you had on this team last year. Tobias Harris is immediately your second best shooter on this team. You bring him in here, that's just a guy standing in the corner ready to shoot, and that's what you need. So the $26 million a year, that's a little more than I want to pay, but it's nothing I'm going to harp over. You know, I'm not going to be mad over a $4 million difference. So welcome back, Tobias. You know,
you sound so bit. Like,
I mean,
you sound depressed about
no,
this.
it's not like I'm not mad at it. I'm not jumping for Tobias Harris, savior of the Pistons franchise, is here. Like, no, I think you're stupid if that's how you're acting.
No, people should not be acting like
I don't think Tobias Harris.
Are people acting
Tobias
like
Harris. You go look at the comments on my post. You think Tobias Harris is prime Kawhi Leonard? Like, this guy is not going to help. He's not going to be the difference in the Pistons making the playoffs or not.
The cool thing about this
He's
contract,
going to be the difference in the Pistons not having the worst record in the NBA. That's it.
It also fits the timeline of like where you expect the team to be. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't expect this team to do dick until 2 to 3 years from now. And I'm not making any commitment to Tobias Harris beyond those 2 years. Precisely. So it's like you can't really bitch too much. You can't really bitch about anything they do within the next. That's half the reason I felt comfortable with the Ron Holland pick. Obviously, this team needs fucking shooting, but we're 2 years away, minimum, from it mattering. Because we're not going anywhere. We're not doing dick. You have time to let things, I guess, settle and develop. So that's why I'm not tripping. That's why nobody should be tripping. I do hate that we can no longer take on a Zach LaVine contract now, right? Because there's only $24 million available after the signings of, obviously you brought Tim Hardaway Jr. too. But, I mean, it's still, you're still, I think James Edward put out there, we are the number one team with cap space now. And after other teams that had cap space spent their money, we're now the best option if you did want to facilitate any type of trade. You needed a third team in there. It would be Detroit. So we're going to get something at some point.
We talked about it on BDE. Zach LaVine and 2 first-round picks, I'm doing that in a fucking heartbeat. And
Over Tobias Harris?
If you bring, with Tobias Harris.
We can't afford it now.
Yeah, you can.
No, we can't.
It's
only 24. Yeah, it's only 24. His contract
they
is
can
40.
make it work. They'll move some things around.
We do have an extra $8 million in, I forget the term it's used
Exception.
for. An exception that we could go and sign somebody with or people on our own team. Fontecchio would be a piece of that too, but no, we only have the $24 million to play with now.
You can make it work. You can make it work. You can finagle your way around.
You gotta let that one sail, bro.
What's Zach LaVine at, 40?
43.
Yeah.
Plus a trade kicker, 15%.
So who are the guys that you'd be trading for? What are the contracts?
So I think Kool-Aid brought up something on the morning show. He brought up Russell Westbrook.
What are you going to get for Russell Westbrook? He's only on a $5 million deal.
Actually, I wrote a few names down too.
You're not getting the first round pick for Russell Westbrook.
This is a guy who actually is already in trade rumors already, and I think would, if you want to compete, would help you in that sense too. Harrison Barnes from the Kings. Another name. I don't think it's going to happen now at the Harkins sign, but Mitchell Robinson would have fucking loved for that.
Julius Randle. They wouldn't get rid of Mitchell Robinson.
I don't know if he could fit. I gotta look at Julius.
DNC ENT. We have 24 million. Stu's 18 million is 42. We can afford LaVine.
Way to steal my path.
Give me 2 first round picks and Zach LaVine, and I'll give you Isaiah Stewart.
So that's the thing. Like Stu would. I mean, that's
I'd do that. I'd do that in a fucking heartbeat.
And we just signed Tobias, so it's where Stu getting his minutes. And are you really bringing an 18
right
million?
Right now, Stewart's your backup center. That's where he is in this roster.
No, I'm happy we brought in Tobias Harris. Honestly, I think it's a big move for Cade. Just his development in general. We saw what happened last year when we had 0 shooting on the outside. This team could not win games.
Yeah.
And we know Tobias Harris in his career. He's a proven scoring veteran. He gets you some decent rebounding, and he can move the rock a little bit. 3 assists last year. So I think it'll be good for this team just to have a guy that's been there. He's a proven vet in this league, and I think he got a horrible rep in Philly for that playoff performance. So I think, along with JB Bickerstaff, I think he's coming in here with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, and he's returning to Detroit. I mean, he wanted to be here, obviously. So I think that holds a little bit of weight in my book. And he obviously still has a chip on his shoulder.
I don't think you guys in the chat are understanding or are on the same wavelength as me with the Pistons right now. Because Denver Blair says Zach LaVine isn't our savior either. Dad with Tourette's. LaVine is broken. He's a good ad, but he's broken. Ivy needs 32 minutes and 20 plus usage. Stop. I'm not making the trade for Zach LaVine. I'm making the trade for those 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
And you're taking Zach LaVine. The Pistons aren't a good team next year, no matter what. They could get LeBron right now, and they maybe make the playoffs. You do that trade so you get 2 first-round picks, and you use up that cap space. That's what that trade is for. It just so happens that you get Zach LaVine, and if he's healthy, he's the second best player on your team. But you do it for the 2 first-round picks.
It also pairs better than Ivy.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
That is true.
Better shooter than Ivy.
38%
Better finisher
is
than
true.
Ivy. He's just a better basketball player than Jaden Ivey at this point in their careers. It is. The only thing you have to concern about is maybe the health in that situation. But Chris, I need you want to talk for a minute. I apologize.
The Levine part, just real quick. I think the holdup is Chicago's just unwilling to give up first yet. They're unwilling to accept that that's the market, and even though that is the market,
They
for
were
Zach
offering
LaVine,
1, and nobody was biting.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're gonna step it up to 2, but 2 makes sense, especially if you're throwing in Stewart, because again, we've talked about before, Stu is worth a first. But quickly on Tobias, one thing I do want to mention that I think is important. And I hate that I have to feel like I'm at Harvard Law School to understand the NBA trades nowadays. But this new cap, this new CBA has really just changed a lot of the game. And part of it is that those second apron teams that we've thrown that phrase around. Part of it is that they can no longer aggregate salaries in order to make a trade. So the Pistons having guys like Tim Hardaway at 18 million, Stu at 18 million, and then getting a guy Tobias Harris at 26 million. Teams, the Pistons can, because they're not a second apron team, aggregate salaries to go make big plays. So the Pistons, it actually behooves them to have players in different salary ranges, so that way they can make trades later on for bad contracts in order to get the assets. They're kind of opening themselves up in a sense, even though they are spending their cap space. They're in a sense opening themselves up to more players to potentially be traded, because now it used to be 75% of the money had to be it had to be within 75% to make the deal. Now for second apron teams, it has to be 100, it has to be dollar for dollar, and it's almost impossible to match dollar for dollar contracts these days. So the Pistons have contracts in multiple tiers, multiple numbers. It kind of opens them up long term wise to make trades, and again, Tobias would be an expiring next season, so you never know, it could end up being valuable. That's all I'm gonna say.
Another piece of that one too. I mean, that's a great point to bring up. Whoever was DNC, ENT, and I know Chris, you're gonna make it too, but the Isaiah Stewart contract. But we're in a good spot, man. We're gonna get assets back, and Cade again. It's like a vibe signing, the Tobias Harris stuff, and I'm completely fine with it. I forgot where I was going to go with any of that, but I'm fine with what we're doing.
Yeah, that's fair. And let me tell you about Les Stanford. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. The same great service that customers have come to know and trust. On Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today and find the brand you want at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford, together. That's right.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody!
Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza is taking over Michigan. Locations are popping up all over Metro Detroit, like their brand new store in Madison Heights. They're doubling their number of locations this year. Go check out Soroki's, known for their quality hand-breaded, hand-battered chicken tenders, those biscuits that are to die for, and of course the New York-style pizza. Sorokis.com to find out a location nearest you.
The piece I forgot to mention, or I wanted to mention before break, and I said this last week, but I know today is when we got a lot of viewers, the Monday, all the breaking news for the Pistons and Red Wings that we'll get to later as well. But it is the Ivy situation where Tobias Harris allows you to have a Fontecchio come off the bench, which I would believe makes Ivy look better, and you're not just offering him at his lowest value.
Yeah.
Like before, there was like mystique about him, like when the New York Knicks wanted him, and after his rookie year too, after last year, it's devalued a lot. I don't think people are willing to offer you as much as they were at one point for Jaden Ivey. Now you put him on the floor with Fontecchio, and then Cage allowed, you're staggering the minutes between those two, and he's looking more like the rookie Ivy, along with more shooting around him, and maybe a Ron Holland to play some defense, or whatever the hell it may be. You get Ivy's value up a little bit more too. That's the other piece of this Tobias signing that helps you as well.
Who's your starting three next year to start the season?
My starting three?
Three.
I put one out today on Twitter, @SpeakySports_. Make sure you follow me.
Or I'll just say starting forwards. Who are your starting forwards? You guys, Tobias is one.
I had Holland and Tobias.
So coming off the bench, you got Asar and Fontecchio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like Fontecchio's 3-point shot makes up for Asar's lack of, and Holland shoots better than Asar right now.
Yeah, that we know of.
I'm fairly confident he will, though. I mean, like,
you're fucking better. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be one or the other. You're not going to start both of those guys at the same time.
No.
You're probably not going to play a lot of lineups with both of those guys at the same time unless you're up by 15. And you just need two defenders out there, unless one of them miraculously recovers. Yeah, I'm not mad at that either way. If it's Asar, if it's Holland, whoever you have in the starting lineup, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, to be honest with you, and I wouldn't be mad if someone's like, what? Someone did literally call me I'm not saying it. I'm not calling someone it. I was called a retard today for starting Ron Holland over Asar. But if you switch the others, like, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Who would you start, Caleb?
I don't know. I was going to ask, can you guys see something where it would be like Cade, Asar, Fontecchio, Tobias, Duren? So Asar at like a 2 or like
Asar
a 3?
2?
Or like, I guess it would be Fontecchio at the 2, and then you play Asar at 3 for defense.
No. I mean,
that's a big line. Bickerstaff likes the big lineups.
I was going to say, Bickerstaff did make something like that work. Like Laurie Market, as much as he is an all-star on the offensive end of the floor.
And Asar Thompson can guard 1 through 4. Ron Holland can guard 1 through 4. So those guys are positionless when it comes to where they're playing or what if you want to say they're a 2, 3, or 4.
Yeah.
I forget who said it. Nick said it or whoever said it. Your position relies on who you can defend. And both of those guys can defend all 4 spots. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. There's going to be a lot of funky lineups out there. I can't even try to assume what it'd be. If I had to put it on wax now, what I think the starting lineup should be, game 1, it would be Cade, Hardaway, Asar, Tobias, Duren. And then off the bench, you got Ivy, Fontecchio, Holland.
That's what I think it will be.
Yeah.
So you said it one more time?
Cade, Hardaway, Asar, Tobias, Duren.
Yeah, that's how I had mine. So far, I had
Holland.
So you had
Holland.
Asar.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest with you, putting Holland there was probably a little bit of a jump because he is a rookie and he only played. Well, G League, I guess they do play with former NBA players. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't mad at anybody that wants to switch it up. Now, you said you have Cade, Asar, Fontecchio, Tobias.
That's getting freaky. I like it a little bit.
I just Asar out there for defense, but I think what Spidey said that's going to be the starting 5.
Yeah.
But there's so much.
What's the bench look like in your situation?
So it would be
Ivy?
Sasser,
that's right.
Sasser, Ivy, Holland,
Stu.
Hardaway.
Stu, but we don't have a
And
backup five.
Hardaway and Stu, yeah.
Oh yeah, so I guess that's tough.
Not really.
No,
Well,
Stu could play
who plays
five.
the 4 then?
Well, I guess you
Holland.
could take Sasser out and then
You
Hardaway.
put Holland at the 4.
We put
Holland
Hardaway
at
at
the
the 3.
Hardaway would be a 3.
Holland at the 4. I can see Holland playing the 4. I've already said
It's not like
Honestly,
and,
I think he's
and
gotta
JB
bulk up a
Bickerstaff
little
is
bit,
not
though.
going to put in full bench lineups this year, so we
Yeah.
don't got to
Yeah.
worry about that.
And I know you got pissed off about it, but I was thinking about it after the show. Jeremy Grant is kind of like a Holland build.
But Holland's more fluid of an athlete than Jeremy Grant, I would say. Like in
He can take
transition
people off-
and handling the ball. Yeah.
He's not a great ball handler, but I mean, you can take people off the dribble for sure.
Like
Better than-
attacking
yeah.
downhill and it's
Fellas, do you think there's any chance that Asar and Holland are coming off the bench and you go straight shooting for
No.
Cade around him?
No, it's
with
because Ivy. Your
Cade-
bench unit needs some shooting too.
Your bench unit
Okay.
needs shooting and you need defense in your starting lineup. And
Yes.
Bickerstaff he's a defensive coach.
Mm-hmm.
So one of those guys who are your 2 best defenders, we assume, on your team, one of them is going to be starting.
If Ivy comes off the bench, is he your backup point guard or is that Sasser?
Yes, Ivy would be the primary ball handler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
Yeah, because Sasser can shoot at will.
Yeah.
So Ivy facilitating getting Sasser the ball wherever.
And again,
I saw somebody on Twitter saying Asor backup point guard. Like it was like the Elmo meme where there's like a big thing of Coke and like a pizza, and he like looks at the pizza, and then the next panel is him shoving his face in the Coke, and it's like Asor backup small forward on the pizza and backup point guard on the Coke. And like, I mean,
I'm listen.
I wouldn't hate that. Like, I mean,
I really have no problem. I'm the guy. Like, I would bring back Stanley Johnson 2K and I'd run him at point, at my backup point, and I would just bully people in the paint and just kick it out. Like, I don't think it's crazy. His brother's going to be playing point guard, and well, I guess maybe not with Reed Shepard.
Yeah, but they always
Reed
play
Shepard's
point
not.
guard.
I don't think
Yeah.
Reed Shepard will play point. Then
Basketball's kind of positionless now, anyway.
Yeah.
Like Caden itself, like size wise, that's he'd be my. I mean, he is my wing conversation. However, he's a point forward, the same way Luka. Luka size wise would be a wing, but he's your point forward. It's just that size you want. I feel like they could take it down to the paint, kick it out, finish there. Obviously, Cade's gonna be doing his work in the middle, which Tobias helps you with that one too. And Stu coming off the bench, that's what we've always asked him to be.
Yeah.
I mean, probably not his rookie year because we all had high hopes for him, but following that rookie year, we were like, yeah, this guy's probably better off the bench or maybe as a 4.
Yeah, he is your big man off the bench. That's Stu's role in the NBA is big man off the bench. So
now you're able to do that with him.
if he's your backup 5, if you keep Stu and he's your backup 5, I'm cool with it, honestly.
If they trade him, do you think I mean, the center market dried up quick.
You could trade him. I mean, but you could sign anybody to be a backup center.
That's very true.
You don't really need that impactful of a backup center.
Taj Gibson, run it
Did
back.
you like the Hartenstein deal? I feel like that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money, but he earned it.
Did he?
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude.
Hot playoff series or hot couple playoff series?
Even not even the playoffs. Before the playoffs,
I think
after Randall went down and Mitchell Robinson was hurt, Hartenstein was balling.
Yeah, he was. He was stepping up.
He was one of the best defenders in the East for that.
Yeah.
When he starting. He's one of the best offensive rebounders in the NBA.
What do you end up getting? 30?
I think so.
Like
Yeah.
28, 29, yeah. I don't even know if he averaged a block last year though. I might get in the playoffs though.
That's what Chet's for. There.
For there, yeah.
Yeah, check.
Oh, he averaged 1.1 last year.
But
The cousinry in this chat is insane, said DNC.
Yeah, I saw Devin Blair.
Dude, I'm telling you, the comments that I was going through were insane.
I think that when it comes to this, the bright side is again you're looking at $24 million plus an $8 million exception plus a minimum. You can get like 3 guys out of that. So the fact that we're already talking about rotation and we kind of have a decent feel for rotation, I think that's a very good thing. I think that's where you wanted the Pistons to be coming into next season, is having to not necessarily play your rookies. Like I think truthfully the way this is going to shake out is it's going to end up being Sasser, Asar, and Holland are going to be fighting for 2 of the final playoff rotation spots. I really think that, because I think you have so much depth in the wing area already, assuming again Fontecchio is back. And if you get another 2 to 3, like a Gary Harris type of guy that they're linked to, or Gary Trent, that's another guy that can also slide over to the 3, therefore take away more minutes from the wing. So you don't have to necessarily play Holland or Asar a lot. And those are 2 guys that are good and we believe in their potential.
They need to develop.
But they need to develop.
Yeah.
So I think truthfully, You got to get a backup. You got to get a backup center. I really want another veteran point guard, specifically point guard, to be on this team to help Cade out, and then from there, get another solid wing to kind of throw in, so that way you don't have to throw these rookies to the fire. You can let them develop. You can let them, let them cook.
I see a comment from Dav Tourette's. He says, "I'm not bringing Ivy off the bench. Feels like you're giving up on him." No. He played so many games as a rookie with the ball in his hands with no Cade. No, you're not giving up on him. You're putting him in a position to succeed. As you just said, he played well as a rookie without Cade. With him off the bench, he'd be taking place of Cade, and then he could have the ball in his hands. That's what we just.
I could also, though. I know. This goes against your narrative, but I do think there is a good chance that just because of the cachet of Ivy, that he does start the season as the starter along Cade, and then kind of transitions into that bench role. I don't know if he's going to start the season at the bench role. I think they may go with him to start. And JB Bickerstaff, even though he likes defense, I think the cachet might put Ivy in that situation.
Well,
and see from there.
You want to talk about JB Bickerstaff being a good coach? He did make like a 2-point guard situation work in Cleveland before too.
He did. And again, look, if this shooting guru is like that magical, and he's already in a month fixed Jaden Ivey's jump shot and made it better, then all of a sudden, it can. So
can make me look like a moron.
Yeah. So
and if it happened, I'd fucking love that.
Just like how I feel about JB Bickerstaff too. Like, again, I'm probably the least optimistic about him in the room, but I still would be happy to be wrong with that. But yeah, I think the starting lineup would be. I think you would give it to Asar, Cade, Tim Hardaway, Tobias, and Duren. I think that would be, and then you'd mix in the bench unit, right? Like you probably bring in Ivy and Fontecchio together. And maybe Holland and Asar would obviously be swapping for each other. So you wouldn't play those all bench lineups again.
No, not at all. And by the way, your all bench lineup would at least like work cohesively.
At least make a little more sense.
Yes. But no, Garland, Sexton, although both better 3-point shooters than.
But again,
if I'm not mistaken.
This guy's a guru.
No, we only played 11 games that year.
Roster got flexibility now. It says the D's 4-11 for sure. You got shooters, you got defenders now that you can mix in and do different lineups with.
And again, you probably got 3 more players coming.
And you still got a couple guys. They're the guys that are left that are realistic for the Pistons. I've seen 3 names getting floated around are Buddy Hield, Gary Trent Jr., and Luke Kennard. Do any of those guys pique your interest? I would really like Buddy Hield, but obviously he's going to be the most expensive out of all of them.
Me personally, I'm still in the camp where I was before Tobias. Let's use that money through trade.
Asset.
Yeah. Get the assets.
Yeah.
Who would you grab? What are some names? Like throw some names in.
Harrison Barnes. I already see him. The Kings were floating him around already. I don't know what the situation is and what they're looking for.
They're trying to go.
They're also trying to get Ingram. They're also so again. Maybe Pistons are the third team.
The third
team, and you get the Jared Allen or the asset. Yeah.
Dude, remember that? Yeah, Cavaliers.
Dude,
perfect
I'm
example.
telling you, one of the greatest
and
all
Allen.
time.
They got Jared Allen for free. Yeah.
Just for being there. Crazy. Yeah, dude. And I love Jared Allen. I've always, even back when he was in Brooklyn. But yeah, for me, I'm eyeing Harrison Barnes because as we kind of try to give out our starting lineups, we have questions on at 3.
Yeah.
We know who it's going to be. If you get Harrison Barnes,
3-4.
He's it.
Yeah.
You may kick yourself out of the lottery accidentally, but
again, I'm not mad if we overachieved this season. I know everybody wants to tank because of this draft, but after the last 3 seasons,
we kick ourselves out of the lottery.
Yeah, after a chance, but
we'd have to win 37 plus games to get out of the lottery.
Yeah, probably
even
more
if
like
you lose in the play, and don't you still get in the lottery?
Yeah.
And I really want even if it's a 6% shot, if you got a shot at Cooper Flag, you don't avoid that for.
Kevin Huerter's another one too. Jeff Olson's brought up.
Yep.
I don't know if we trade for. I mean, I'd love to trade for Jared Allen. I'm not opposed to that at all. What's his contract look like? I think we probably afford that one too. I also had Mitchell Robinson on my sheet. Those are 2 names that I've starred. Was Harrison
I don't
Barnes,
think
Mitchell
with losing Hartenstein, they're not.
No,
giving
yeah,
up
and that was before.
Mitchell.
Before the Hartenstein.
Even
stuff
that the piece they're going to give up, if they give up a piece, is going to be Julius Randle. He makes the most money, and he is talk about career underperformers in the playoffs. That's what he does.
Would you be cool with that?
Yeah, I'd be cool with Julius Randle. Like I said,
Hell yeah.
if you bring in Julius Randle, you get your first back from the Knicks for sure. Probably a couple other seconds, and he's the second best player on your team immediately.
Yeah, that's a win-win.
That's a win-win.
I don't even know if we'd be able to afford it unless Stu. He's just
You'd have
over.
to give up Stu probably.
And he has his 50% kicker as well. He's $26 million this year.
Randall?
I'm sorry, $28 million.
Randall?
Yeah.
Wow.
28.9.
Yeah, you could get that for sure then.
Expiring though, so we have to give it a Stu or whatever else.
Not even.
No, you got
we
cap
only have
space
24.
still.
Yeah.
What do you mean with 24 million?
Well, you could do some
That's what I'm saying.
finagling to
That's
free
what
up.
I said. You'd have to get rid of somebody else.
Yeah.
That's literally what I said.
I don't even think you could probably do some kind of Rod Wood shit to find $4 million.
I don't know.
Cook the books. Find me $4 million.
I don't think basketball does that. I don't.
You're not allowed out this office till I get $4 million. Like,
Unless you just re-sign
Trajan,
someone.
this is what you're gonna do, buddy. Need you to find me $4 million.
Crunch them numbers.
But if we
buddy.
could get Randall, that would be best case scenario.
He's
Like I said,
29 before
you get your
the
first
15%.
back, you'd get a couple extra picks, and you could package your 6 seconds that you'd have after a couple trades.
We should just Randall and our pick back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like a couple, like I said, like,
That-
2 seconds or 3
that-
seconds or something like that.
Your future picks are no longer handcuffed.
That's
either.
an accidental playing team. I'm not gonna lie to you. Cade and Randall. Randall balls in the regular
He's too
season.
selfish, man. That makes sense, I guess. If it's Tobias, will you move him to small forward then?
We got Hardaway and
Move it to the
Randall
bench,
jacking
bro. I don't
shots
care.
left and right.
Yeah, then Montecchio becomes an asset at that point too, maybe.
I don't
Maybe
think
that's the
Randall would fit well. I mean, obviously he's talented, but I don't know with him jacking all those shots. I don't know how he would mesh well with Cade.
Nah, that's how I kind of feel about him too. But if he came with our pick, just our pick, or you guys want more than that? It's an expiring deal.
I mean, negotiating wise, you start with asking for more, but ultimately, I would take that because again, he's not as bad as Zach LaVine. Like he's not nearly as expensive, and he's not nearly as bad. This is a guy
he's
that
also
puts
1
up
year.
numbers.
Is that Zach LaVine? You commit yourself to 3 more years of that.
Oh, Randall's only 1 year.
Yeah.
I thought he was 2. I thought he was 2, if I'm not
Randall, hold on, might be player option. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, it's a player option for the following year. Yeah, at 30.9.
Yeah, which I don't know if he takes that or not. He might opt out, depending on what the season he has this year.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, he actually career
Yeah, I mean-
33% 3-point shooter. So it
Randall?
would allow you to stretch the floor. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
and checking his catching and
Barely.
shoots.
Let me tell you guys about Lady Jane's. Awesome is when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut. That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Stop in, sit back, relax, and let one of Lady Jane's talented stylists make you look and feel great. Walk in anytime, 7 days a week. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome. Lady Jane.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts Woodward Sports. Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Premier Pet Supply is hands down Michigan's best pet store. Same prices and all of the conveniences of the online and big box retailers, with one major difference. They're family and locally owned and operated for over 30 years. 60 brands of food and nutrition experts to help you. Same day, local curbside home delivery. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best. www.premierpetsupply.com.
What up, though? Welcome back to World Heavyweights live on WorldSports.com. I'm your boy Easy, joined by Spimo Rax, young Chris, Nicholas Kohloff, a.k.a. Microwave Mario. We got Caleb in the building as well. Caleb, how do you feel about the guys remaining guys for free agency? Are you looking to sign somebody to complete that $24 million, or are you looking to get something back for it?
I don't know. I like Gary Trent. I like Buddy Hield as well, but I think I would go out and get someone, whether that is a Julius Randle or whether that is Zach LaVine, just so you could get assets along with that. I kind of like where Julius Randle would fit into this lineup. I think he would probably play the 4, and then you can move Tobias to the 3, and then you have Duren. I don't hate that. I mean, obviously that's not a like contending basketball team.
Yeah.
But that's like, I think that's a pretty decent squad you got there, and you're going to get picks probably for Randall too. So
yeah,
I don't know.
You're adding an all NBA caliber player, like, you know, so, and again, say what you will about the playoffs, but that's not a Piston problem right now. So at the end of the day, that's a home run. I truly don't think that the Knicks are going to be willing to give up on him, that they're going to attach assets. I think they're going to just try to find a cheap center, just like how we talked about. We talked about backup center. Who cares? You can sign anybody. I don't think the Knicks are going to give up somebody of Randall's value, an all-NBA caliber player, in order to do that. But if they do, then hell yeah, I take that. I know he's not the greatest shooter. I know he's a ball-dominant player, but whatever. This team is way, way better than the team was last year.
You're not acquiring Randall to go win a championship.
Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here in the comments? No, Randall, not a chance. What are we thinking? Are we a championship contending team? Are we a decent team? Are we a above average team? No, we are a terrible fucking team that needs to accept these guys to get assets. We're not doing this because we think Julius Randle will be the best player of all time or he will lead the Pistons back. No, we're doing that to get assets in the draft. That's what you do when you're a bad team in the NBA. You take bad players on bad contracts for draft picks. Like next year, we're not going to be this super team, no matter who we get. So you take a bad player to get better assets.
And ultimately, like,
I don't understand why that's so confusing.
And by the way, the Pistons, real quick update there, they've announced, it's already been announced, they're not interested in Miles Bridges.
Yeah.
Wait, breaking news?
No, you just broke it.
Oh, yeah.
But again, to go off Spencer's point too, like, where do you guys think the optics are at if agents are telling their rookies to not work out for this team? Those are rookies. Those are people that are just trying to get their foot in the door in NBA. They have no real NBA value yet. Like, they haven't proven a lick, and they're the ones. This is not the top free agents being like, I'm not coming to Detroit. That's not a destination that I want to be. This is rookies. That's bottom of the barrel. That is embarrassing that a franchise would be so low that rookies and their agents are trying to get them from not coming here.
Well, it extends
That's
beyond
terrible.
that too. It goes into the coaching circles as well.
Yeah,
Borrego pulled himself. He removed himself from the candidacy of head coach.
Exactly.
Did not want to come here, and that's coming off of us paying the highest coaching contract for a guy not the fucking coach. Coaching contracts are guaranteed. Borrego could have came here, not worked, and he could have guaranteed himself millions of dollars and became an assistant elsewhere after the fact.
Yeah.
Like, no,
could have took the Monty blueprint.
We're taking on these assets just as your president of basketball operations, Trajan Langdon. This is not us spitballing shit right here. I will give us credit for saying that's what we wanted in the first place. But Trajan Langdon hit the podium and told you guys this. I have it clipped in my phone. I'll send it to Chris to play right now. He wants to be that third team to help facilitate other trades. And Julius Randle just so happens to fit. Mm-hmm. Obviously, moving along some other pieces, that $24 million we got to play with.
Yeah, and again, I don't know the logistics of him actually being available and them actually being willing to part with an asset on top of getting rid of him, because I think they look at him as an
somebody
all-NBA
may acquire him
caliber
just
player.
to acquire him too. So
yeah.
That's
so
fair.
that's where I'm at with him. And again, I think that was part of the problem with Levine was they were only willing to offer one first, and it was probably going to be some sort of protection. So it wasn't even that enticing of a first. So we'll see. But eventually, one of these teams, that bill's going to come due, and we see it every year. These owners are cheap, and at the very last minute, they will make that move. Or again, a star demands to be traded. All of a sudden, Kevin Durant says, "I'm out of Phoenix."
Yeah.
And now Detroit's like, "We have cap space. We can help."
And then just for example too, so David Tourette says you guys are acting like teams are handing picks over like candy to get rid of contracts. Hey, we just got Tim Hardaway Jr. We gave up Quentin Grimes, who's a bench guy, and they gave us 3 second-round picks to go along with it.
That's how the NBA works. That's literally how this works.
Also, per Shams. Actually, no, I'm sorry, Vinny Goodwill. They're shopping those second-round picks to cash it in for a first. This is how this works.
Yeah.
Yes.
And where is it? Sebastian Marquez. So some of y'all are acting like we won 50 games. Like, that's what it is. It's like we're not looking for
Tobias Harris away.
The final piece to win a championship. We are rebuilding from the ground up. Like, that's what it is. We don't know who our core is yet. We don't know if any of these young guys, other than Cade Cunningham, are going to be on this team in 3 years. We need to get as many future assets as we possibly can. And how you do that is you take on bad contracts when you have the most cap space in the NBA. That's how it works.
Just a hypothetical.
I know we haven't seen that happen because Tom Gores refused to rebuild until it was too late. But that's how you normally rebuild in the NBA, and it goes a lot faster than 8 years.
Yeah, and if you trade for a guy like Julius Randle, I know it's a tough contract to move, to, you know, trade
You don't
away.
move it. You just keep it, and then he expires, and you're done.
But if we're like the 12 seed and he's having a pretty decent season, you ship him away for a first and a young player. There, you just traded Isaiah Stewart for 2 first-round picks and a young player. Mm-hmm. Even though, that's a tough contract to move. I don't know how much he's making, but it has to be upwards of 40. But that could happen.
That's true. Yeah. Isaiah Stewart, those picks, the second rounders for a couple firsts.
Yeah.
That's what the good GMs do, is they flip one thing for another, and they flip it for another. What
would Isaiah Stewart do for this team this year? He'd get us to 23 wins instead of 21?
Not even.
You know what he'd do? He'd be a good bench player on a contender. A Dallas, a Boston, just spitballing here, teams that are going to be contending for the championship will trade first-round picks to get a guy that can help them win a championship this year. That happens every single year. Isaiah Stewart is the prime trade candidate off of this Pistons team this year. He should not finish the season as a Detroit Piston. As much as I like him and his versatility and his attitude, and he definitely progressed as a shooter, which you love to see, you're not going to re-sign him to this. He doesn't fit the longevity, why can't I think of the word?
Timeline?
He doesn't fit the timeline. Like, he is a piece you move this year.
Yeah, I'm rubbing off on you.
By the time you're good enough to use him to his true value, his contract will be expired.
Exactly.
Long expired. Probably like 3 years expired. Like,
yes.
You gotta think on a long term.
If your marriage expired, there's only one place to go. Let's go visit Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law right here in Birmingham. They got you covered. You give them a call directly, or just simply scan the QR code above my head. Tell them the Heavyweight sent you, and they will pay your filing fees. KDK Law. Any family law issues, they got your back.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Ham for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
This summer, Dispo Dispensary is turning up with the heat with amazing giveaways and exclusive offers. Enter for a chance to win a signed football jersey and helmet from your favorite sports team. Screenshot this image with the QR code, bring it into your next location to get scanned, and you'll get $10 free to spin in store. This will automatically qualify you for the giveaway. It's Dispo Dispensary. Visit today, disposhops.com. That's actually, I might have to do that. Hold on. Not only do you get qualified for this jersey,
you get $10.
You also get 10 spin. Okay. I'm doing that today.
$5?
Do I qualify for this? I'm doing this all day.
Yeah. Just go to one where they don't know you.
It's still the rule. I mean, like, right? Why would they not?
We might be exempt because we're partners.
Yeah, it might be exempt.
I need to fill you guys in, by the way. Review bomb in a negative way. The B-Dubs and Royal Oak.
What?
If we hit 213 likes, I'll tell you why. But I am giving away a signed Hutch item in return.
You still owe
Shut them down.
stashes.
No, I didn't. We exchanged the tickets.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Got them hooked up.
It's true.
Shout out. All right, 2 places we can take this chat, and I'll allow you guys to make the selection. With a Sack Summit, if you guys want to talk some Lions. I'm only saying because I know you guys like to talk some Lions, but we also have breaking news in the hockey world, and it's actually relevant because the Detroit Red Wings were on the cusp of making the playoffs, the cusp of making the playoffs. Fuck it, we're doing Red Wings.
Yeah, we're doing Red Wings for sure. Yeah, so Patrick Kane re-signed with the Detroit Red Wings. Chris, I sent a graphic in Slack that break down his contract. It's a $4 million base, and he has about $2.5 million of incentives on that. $1.5 million for playing just 10 games, $250K for playing 60, $500K if they make the playoffs, and then $250K if they make the playoffs and he scores 60 points on the season. This is a steal. This is an insanely good contract for the Detroit Red Wings. First of all, I don't know why Patrick Kane would have signed just a one-year deal. He is absolutely betting on himself. And on top of that, he's betting $2.5 million on himself and on this team to have success and to make the playoffs. Love that. Love bringing back Patty Kane. Love what it does for this team, his leadership, obviously a beloved guy, and he was a damn near point-a-game scorer last year. So it was great to get him back.
So at 10 games, $1.5 million at 10 games, it's essentially a $5.5 million contract. That's almost like a guarantee. It's the rest of it that are obviously coming with the playoffs and whatnot. And I've seen a lot of people. I saw Neil saying, "Oh, he's betting on them to make the playoffs," and yeah, he is in a sense. But majority of this is coming regardless. It's $5.5 million contract. I get to be reported for, but however, I will say this: the pieces that are coming, and this is why they did it this way. I actually got a shout out to Max Bolton, who might be joining us at some point during this week. The reason why it's structured that way is because the extra bonuses won't count towards this year's cap. So although we may pay him in full and it equals that 6, whatever, I think it was 6.5. The rest of that 6.5 will hit next year's cap, not this year's cap. He'll still get paid, but it won't affect us until the back half.
Yeah, he's putting $750K on himself for this team to make the playoffs, basically. Because if we want to make the playoffs, he's going to have to stay healthy. And if he's staying healthy, he's putting up 60 points. So that's where I think in this contract, it's an easy $750K for him. If he gets 60 points and we make the playoffs. One thing, I love that we brought Patty Kane back for this offensive upside, and he was getting to a groove last year. I know it looked a little weird at times with DeBrincat, but we saw what the good looked like, and it looked really good, but DeBrincat just kept posting out on some of those Patty Kane passes last season. But I love that we brought Patrick Kane back, but that's kind of all we did, fellas. I don't, where are we at with Stevie Y and how today went in free agency? And Spenmo, I wanted to get your thoughts on it first.
I think he's got to be gearing up for a trade. Right?
Has to be, right?
Yeah, you have four goaltenders on your team right now. 4 veteran goaltenders on your team right now with Campbell, with obviously Lyon and Husso, and then Talbot. And going for it's going to be Talbot and Campbell, I believe, that are going to be Campbell might be the guy that's mentoring Kosa, and then you keep Talbot and Husso as your 2 guys. I think Lyon is going to be the odd man out.
Really?
And he is going to be the one moved because he holds the higher value between him and Husso, and Talbot is ready to be your starter. He re-signed Christian Fischer, signed a couple of fringe defensemen, so I think we've heard Trouba in talks. We've heard other guys in talks. There is going to be a trade made for the Detroit Red Wings pretty damn soon. I don't know if that's going to be I don't think it's going to be a winger or a center because you've got guys that are ready to come up like Soderblom and Kasper and Berggren that could fill into those spots. I think it's going to be a big defenseman. I really think it's going to be Trouba. And if you look at it and you have Trouba and Edvinsson as your second D pairing, that is violence. That is violence on the blue line. Those guys are going to kill people out there. I would fucking love to see that because Trouba is a guy you bring in when you want to make the playoffs. Trouba is a guy you bring in when your captain gets cross-checked in the back of the neck. Trouba is a guy that you bring in when you're sick of Florida and New York and these other teams throwing you around. He's a guy that's going to create some havoc and some pain on the ice. And I think he would be a perfect complement to the D pairing. And like I said, him and Edvinsson as the second D pairing would be scary for other teams to go up against.
Yeah, I think Edvinsson's highly skilled in that regard too, where he would play off Trouba, I think, perfectly on that second pair. And then you actually have 2 solid defense lines, moving forward. But speaking of the defense here, one guy that we let walk was Shane Gostisbehere. That was a massive part of this team's power play last year. He signed 3-year, $9.6 to go to the Hurricanes.
Oh, wow.
Are you concerned about losing him? I mean, we all remember Air Ghost, one of the coolest plays ever to save that puck.
Odell Beckham catch.
Air Ghost was for sure. It was a play that saved our season for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But it was a great play, and he was an important player on our power play. I think Sider's ready to step up to that quarterback role, especially with the forwards you have, like with Larkin and with Patrick Kane and with Raymond taking a step forward. I think Sider will be ready to take up that role as the quarterback of the power play. And you got Petrie. I know people don't want to hear it, but that is where he is good. If he's good in any facet of the game, it's on the power play from that point. So
how much did Ghost sign for though?
$3.2 million.
Yeah.
A year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's $1 million more than the guy that we just got.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I kind of would have wanted. I kind of would have paid that.
I liked him. I don't. Yeah, that's
true.
where,
Ghost was bad. He's a bad defensive defenseman, flat out. He was. I think he was the worst plus minus on this team, and it's tough. Like to put that guy out there every day, even though he does bring a lot to your power play. That is like unquestionable.
Yeah.
He's fantastic at that, but he's a liability defensively. So I think Sider's ready to step up.
So what about Eric Gustafsson then?
He's going to be your third pairing guy.
Isn't what Ghost was?
No, Ghost was first or second.
I mean, in an ideal world?
In an ideal world, yeah.
I mean,
But
I don't know if you get
re-sign
Trouba,
Ghost, it wouldn't be.
Then obviously less of a big deal. But
Yeah.
I kind of would have rather pay that.
Yeah, Gossifir 56 points last year, but he was a minus 16 in the plus minus.
Yeah.
But we did see a lot of upside on that offensive side of the puck or ice. But one thing I think has to be apparent.
But that's
here,
also I think the thing that made the offensive upside look the best was not Gossesphere. I think it was DeBrincat and Kane, Larkin and Ray. I think that is what brings out the most in your power play rather than Gossesphere played a big role, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like, he was very good to have out there, but I think the more impactful role was guys like DeBrincat and Kane and Perron, even though losing Perron does suck. But
What's Gustafsson's plus minus?
I'm not sure. I'd have to check it.
So this is where I think Stevie trust in his draft picks and coming up the pipeline. Like he has to think they're ready. And I still do believe that he would not have cleared out Jake Wallman with a second rounder if it was just for Patrick Kane and the goalie Talbot. There's more to come in this. It's just how high of a swing is he going to take to actually get to the playoffs? Because I have to think him and Patrick Kane, when they were in talks, had to be in lockstep that this team was going for a playoff push along with the young guys.
You are a playoff team this year. That's what it is. And you've got defensemen ready to bring up, whether it's Wallander, whether it's Johansson, whoever it's going to be out of those two young guys on the blue line. They're going to come up and they're going to play a serious role. Evans, I saw someone commented they were like,
he's
the
a
Red
plus
Wings,
3, plus 4 in his career.
He's plus 4.
Yeah, in his career.
He's not really a power play guy, but he's good. He's good back there. But you look at what's going on with Edvinsson and Kane. I think that will be someone on Twitter said something to me about like they lost so much. And I think a full season of Patrick Kane and Edvinsson is more beneficial than anything they lost, than losing a Perron and a Gostosphere. It's more beneficial to have a full season of Edvinsson and a full season of Patrick Kane. Because Edvinsson came up here and he was your second best defenseman right away.
Yeah.
And he has more offensive upside than Mo Sider. He has the rocket shot. He is a guy that can come in down on a power play and make some things happen. Are they going to give him the reins right away? Probably not. But that's what he is going to be groomed for until obviously ASP is going to be your guy in the future. But I think Edvinsson and Kane being full year Red Wings is more beneficial than some of the losses they take. I still need to see them do something else, whether it's a trade, whether it's another big signing, but I'm not freaking out right now.
Microwave Mario, do you concur?
About which part
Evans'
of it?
offensive upside versus Raymond?
Versus Raymond?
Versus Sider.
Oh, I thought you said Raymond. You said
I meant Sider.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, I get. Okay, I'm with you then.
Yeah, I think Edvinsson has a massive upside. I mean, we saw it in spots last year, and I thought that's why one of our additions last year, instead of going out and getting a defenseman at the deadline, was actually adding Simon Edvinsson when we talked to Ryan Hanna, and we ended up doing that, and he started coming into his own towards the end of the year. I have a super high ceiling on Simon Edvinsson. I think he can be an absolute star in this league, and to be honest, we need him to be. To pair with Sider moving forward, those are two of your 4 cornerstone pieces on that defense that Stevie Y drafted specifically. So we need to see his influx of talent of guys that he drafted keep taking steps up, compared to maybe some other teams in this town that really we haven't seen from the prospects that
you've got a lot of great prospects. I wholeheartedly believe that Simon Edvinsson will be a top 4 defenseman in this league. Like that's what he was projected to be. That's what he is going to be. I can see him being a top 2 guy in this league. Like he is damn good. I remember listening to a Mo Sider interview, and Mo Sider was like, "Yeah, he's better than I am. He's a better prospect.
He's more,
It's just and he works harder."
And we have other guys coming up too.
It's like I said, Wallander and Johansson are both very good prospects as well. Obviously, you got ASP waiting in the wings until he is ready. I'm fine with the D core right now, but they for sure need to make another move to solidify it. Like, I really like the idea of Trouba, and I hope that happens.
So it looks like the holdup, and this is coming from Ryan Mead. He covers the Rangers. It's just on him approving the trade.
Yeah.
He's
got a no-trade clause,
Yeah, it says that Trouba does not approve a trade to Detroit. That is believed in place. He will ultimately be sent somewhere else, perhaps by waivers. The decision has been made.
Yeah.
That's
when you get a call. That's when you get a call from Nick Lidstrom, and you're a defenseman, and you see Nick Lidstrom calling, you answer, and he says, "Hey, I'm the greatest defenseman of all time. Come play in Detroit." And you say, "Okay."
Eric Gustafsson, didn't he play with Kane and
Trouba? Yeah.
Trouba also from Rochester, Michigan.
Yep.
Oh, so maybe he does want to come.
I
feel like this is a holdup.
I just think it's a matter of time. I really think the Trouba thing's gonna happen. My friend, it was funny. We talked about the Kane thing a little bit. My friend Dante, he's a big hockey guy. He was like, I feel like Steve Yzerman's holding a gun under the table during these negotiations, because he always gets his way.
Because in the Trouba one, we're only paying $5 million.
Yeah, they would pay like half of it.
Yeah,
and it's funny because you look at, if you're a guy who's negotiating with the Red Wings and you're walking into a face-to-face negotiation, you're sitting down, and on the other side of the table, you've got Steve Yzerman, Nick Lidstrom, and Chris Draper.
Yeah. And
so you just got to stare at Draper because he's the happy one, and hope that Yzerman and Lidstrom aren't just being super fucking intimidating the whole time, because those are 2 of the greatest players in the NHL's history.
Goff's the same teammates with Cat and Kane is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
But Trouba as well.
Trouba as well.
Oh, well then, yeah. I hope that happens. Regardless, we have to go to break. Spinny, what do you work out at?
Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone, where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full-body workout in 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You got all that for just $30 a month, no commitment, no matter where you are as Planet Fitness close by. More than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. Planet Fitness, where fitness is essential.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody!
Are you tired of wearing the same old Detroit sports
merch?
Head on over to woodwardsports.com, click that shop tab today, and get yourself some brand new
merch.
They got hoodies, tees, hats, all that guaranteed to turn heads. Head on over to woodwardsports.com, click that shop tab today, and get yourself some brand new merch.
What up, though, everybody, and welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights live on woodwardsports.com. Make sure you smash that like button for Easy, for Nick, for Caleb, for Chris. I am Spencer. We are the Woodward Heavyweights, and we're talking a little Red Wings hockey here. because they made a lot of moves. Obviously, NHL free agency has been buzzing. The NHL draft was over the weekend, and I don't know if you guys have watched the TV show Vikings. It's a very cool show. I love it. Shout out Ragnar Lothbrok. You know, I restarted it. It's my second watch.
Oh wow.
Bjorn Ironside, Ragnar Lothbrok, shit's going down. But the Red Wings drafted a Viking, like their first pick, Michael Brandzenygaard. He is the first.
Watch it.
Say, oh,
Nygaard.
Hey, relax over.
Nygaard. What? He's the first.
Nygaard.
What is he? Slovenian or Norwegian. He's the first Norwegian player drafted in the first round in NHL history. He is a Viking, and the best. This guy is a fucking monster. He's like 6'1.5", about 210 pounds. He lays the boom on people. He puts people on their ass, and he's got a rocket wrist shot. Like he is a playoff forward. He is a guy that you put out there. He plays the entire length of the ice, and he makes people sorry for putting their head down in the neutral zone. Like I love this pick. I was talking about it. I had my big three, where it was all these big forwards. We've got the defensemen, we've got the skill guys, all the speeds, all these guys, lots of goals, very nice. But this guy is someone that's going to put you in the fucking ice and you're going to feel it. I love this pick for the Red Wings. Obviously, he's a young kid. He's only 18. He's on the same team as ASP last year in the Swedish Elite League. This is a guy that's going to go out there, and like I said, when he is ready to go, he is going to be a playoff forward for this team. When he is in the winged wheel, he will become a fan favorite. You can put that on wax. Like, you're going to love how this kid plays. He puts people to the ground, and he's got a rocket wrist shot.
Nick?
Yeah, from everything I've seen, he plays defense, he steals pucks, and he goes the other way and takes care of the goalie. Like, he has a really good shot moving forward. That's something that we need in this system. You got a couple of guys that play up the middle in Danielson and Casper. This guy's a guy that you put on the wing. He can throw the body around. I think it's nice to add this to our prospect pool that we have coming up with all the defense that we drafted in the first round in the past, and then 2 centers back-to-back years. I think this is a good piece to add, and obviously he's going to be playing in the SHL where we develop our prospects, and we develop into being some of the top prospects in all of hockey. So I think this is another Stevie Y classic pick. He stays away from the USA Developmental League, and he goes to where he knows, and that's the SHL.
It's the SHL, man. It's like, okay, I'm going to try this one more time.
No, you're good.
Michael Brandzenygaard. He's a stud, man. I really think this kid's gonna be
I'm on free lunch tomorrow. I'm reporting you to HR.
Essential team, essential player for when this team is winning Stanley Cups. I think he's gonna play a big factor in their success in the playoffs. That's what his game is built for, is playoff hockey. And we don't have a lot of guys on this team that are like that. We don't have a lot of guys in this farm system that are like that. Like at his peak, this guy is a Kachuk type of player. Like that's what he.
That's so ballsy.
That's
though.
I mean, like I said, obviously that is his peak.
What is Axel? Axel is Cole Makar.
Cale Makar. He's a first round pick. If he is who we think he is, like if he is what you expect him to be, that's how he plays the game. He plays it with an edge, and he's got a rocket wrist shot.
Ron Holland, LeBron-ish. If he,
Yeah, am I not supposed to be like, oh, this guy Ron Holland at his top peak could be Kawhi Leonard? Is that crazy?
Yeah.
We're talking peaks.
That'd be so sick if he
sound
was
like you
shot.
sniffed a couple peaks before those
Peaks.
there, but
this kid's gonna be awesome.
outside, I don't know that obviously there's the rest of the draft, but we're not gonna see these guys for 2 to 3 years. Did the Red Wings get worse today in free agency?
No,
I think so.
I don't think they got better. I think they lost offensively.
I don't think they're done by any means, but today I think that they did, because they didn't bring anybody in besides the goalie that I think is going to play a big role on this team, and I think Perron and Gossipsphere were big reasons why we were, contending last year. Yeah. Not the main reason, we all know, but I think another. I don't know if Daniel Sprong got signed yet either. He put up 43 points last year, 18 goals, 25 assists.
If they had Talbot last year, they're in the playoffs. Flat out.
So at goaltending, they got better.
Yes.
Some of that depth scoring that we saw a lot earlier in the year, though, we don't have it. And
Yeah,
I feel
but
like
we didn't
they
have
saved
Patrick
some
Kane
games.
earlier in the year either.
True.
Defensively, without the
Yeah.
move-ups, as of now, got worse.
No, I don't think so. Like I said, it is a net neutral because, yeah, you lost Gostisbehere, but you're going to have Edvinson for the whole season. That is a net neutral, if not a net plus. Yeah, you lost
Fair.
Sprong or whoever it is, but
Sprong
you're
and
going to have
Braun.
Patrick Kane for the entire season. That's a net neutral or a net plus. Like, we didn't, those guys played, the last 2 months of the year?
It's fair. So you just same offense and defensively.
Same. Yeah, they're same
And better
offensive
goaltending.
defensively, and they got a better goalie. I'd like to see them make one more or two more moves, but yeah, they didn't get worse. I wouldn't say that.
So
Because
20
they didn't add anybody to get better, but with the guys they have and the guys you expect them to bring up, they're pretty much the same.
I think moving forward, I would start Talbot, and I think I would put Lyon as the backup because he's shown potential, but I think he ran out of gas last season.
I think Lyon's gone, dude. I think
Really?
Yeah, because
I think it might be Husso though.
but what are you gonna get for Husso? I think Lyon's a spicier name
You're saying Lyon
on
has
the block.
has some more trade
Yeah,
trade
so,
value.
like I would rather keep Lyon for sure, but I think you'd get more in a trade with him than you would with Husso.
You got 28 to cook with. 15 if you take away the contracts with Sider.
And yeah, you got to re-sign Sider and Raymond. Probably Daniel Sprong too.
They're making a trade. They gotta be making.
They're
some
gonna
type
make
of
a trade for sure. I'm telling you.
We have to see what it is. Is True the only trade? 5.
I'd have to look into some more options, but
you still have 10 to spend at that point.
Yeah,
so maybe not.
I would love to get a big name in here.
The Wallman trade is so he literally did it for money. You haven't yet to spend the money, so something's happening. That's what he said. That's what he said Saturday night. Chris, you want to play a video you downloaded?
I will play a video that I'm
You don't
down.
have to.
Yeah, I got it.
Let's go to break first though.
Okay.
All right.
Tell us about the morning show, Nick.
Every single morning when you wake up, make sure you're throwing on Wake Up Woodward. It's the best morning show in the country. 8 to 10 a.m. live on Woodward Sports. It's Kool-Aid, Flannel Sam Broder, JB, and KG every morning. When you wake up, make sure you're waking up with Woodward. 8 to 10 a.m. live on Woodward Sports.
Drive into summer and drive into savings during Feldman Chevrolet's biggest Memorial Day sale ever. We're stocked with new Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs, all priced to move. Like this 2024 Silverado for only $217 a month, or this 2024 Equinox for as low as $199 a month. Find your freedom in a Feldman at the Memorial Day sale going on now at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts Woodward Sports. Congratulations to the real coach of the year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Guardian Alarm offers you customized solutions from real experts. Their professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. They also have 24/7 professional monitoring. You can call them anytime, day or night. No Guardian Alarm team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. And of course, they have technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology. It's been proven to work. And people have been proven to care. So call them at 1-800-STAY-UP. That's 1-800-STAY-UP. And let them know what we're supposed to send you, eh?
Couple things, as we typically do in the beginning of the shows, we tell you about the bullshit that we're interested outside of sports. Whew, I almost could have blocked that one if I want to. No.
Sounded
we're
like
close.
it.
No.
You hit a little pocket, so I guess I made a little depth noise there. Rick Ross got jumped in Canada.
Wait, what noise did it make again?
Little depth noise. Little depth to it. Hawk Tua. I mean, actually, I'll start with that one. Shaq met the Hawk Tua girl.
Yeah, I did see that.
Like a savage. Put the Shrek meme, the little smirk.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Good for him.
If taking place. Secondly, Rick Ross got jumped by Drake goons.
Yeah.
Got jumped in Canada, yeah? His boys got their ass beat.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
No. I heard
I'll
about it,
send
though.
to Chris. Yeah. He got caught too and did not return a lick. He fucking went to and he's like, let me stand behind these guys for a minute. And luckily, good thing he did because they got their ass beat.
Yeah.
I don't know how he escaped too. It must have been through that fence. Did you watch it, Chris?
I watched it, but I need to watch it again. So
I'll send it. There's no copyright in that one.
Yeah, no.
All right, hold on.
All night long, all night.
Well, actually, there's 2 videos.
All night.
If I send you the link with 2 videos, how's that work?
I think it downloads just one of them, and it's usually the first one, I think.
Would it allow you to?
I think that's how... let's try it. Let's try
All
it.
right,
We
you
got some
speak
time.
on that, and I'll send the video. I'll just find another one.
And Robert Cole says not bringing Sprong back going to create competition in camp for a couple forward spots. And yeah, that's where you look at guys like Soderblom, like Berggren, like Casper, like Mazer. Like you got these kids that are chirping, that are ready to come up, and the potential of them is better than Daniel Sprong.
Berggren's produced on the NHL
All
level
Berggren does
already.
is score goals. Whenever he gets a shot in the NHL, all he does is score goals.
Definitely. I mean, if not now, when? You know? So he's got to prove it.
That is actually kind of... I mean, I didn't know Canada was like that. I mean, I should have known. Everyone's...
Oh, sweet. I can download both.
Everywhere's got places like that. But to do that on, Canada Day, to go disrespect their...
Have him pull up in Miami.
Famous guy? Who, Drake? Or Rick Ross?
Those goons.
I've always low-key been a Rick Ross hater just because there's a real Rick Ross and it's not him.
I mean, I get that part. I get that part, but like he's kind of been open and honest about it in like several interviews.
Has he?
And
I don't think he's been open and honest about it.
I mean, he doesn't go in every interview saying, "Hey guys, just so you know, I'm not the real Rick Ross." But like every interview's asked him that
He's
question.
not been open and honest about it. He raps about being Free Ray Ricky.
Yeah,
we were a correction officer, sir.
Yes, I know this.
Yeah.
I know this easy, but what I'm saying is that almost every interview when he started popping off was, "Hey, you're not actually Rick Ross. This is a persona," and he's like, "Yeah, it's a persona." So it's like at this point, like nobody.
You think
that knows
Drake rides
Rick Ross.
out on people and shoots people?
I think he has. I sent a
people.
video that's just one.
Fuck no, dude.
Drake
has
for sure
never
has
shot anybody in his life. Get the
Oh
fuck
no,
out
I
of
said
here.
he has people.
I sent that video.
Yeah, I
Nobody
know.
has
I'm getting
people.
them.
I have people. That doesn't mean I'm gonna rap about it.
I mean, you would. You probably have.
Yeah, I shoot.
If you have rap shit. I'm sure if we listen to him.
I have actually.
Yeah,
rapped
exactly.
About it. Yeah, there
This
is
is part of rap.
There is a line about it.
Yeah, even J. Cole, who like famously says he doesn't do half the shit he raps about.
Yeah,
still raps about.
That's why J. Cole's a fraud.
All right, relax, on J. Cole. No, Rick Ross is the biggest fraud.
Grippy. That's the wackest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Never gonna let that go.
That's worse than Waglan Delilah or whatever the fuck that is.
Oh no, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Talking about frauds, Scott Harris, Wyatt Langford hit for the cycle. Got to throw it in there, Spenmo.
Yeah.
Got to get the jab in.
Yep. Max Clark's better.
He's coming along, honestly. So hopefully Max Clark can get back on the diamond. I saw he came up after stealing a base. Hopefully he can get back healthy, but it's looking
It's
like
taking
Langford's
victory
a hell
laps
of a
on
player.
injuries of our players.
Looking like Langford's a
Texas
hell of a player.
Nick.
Yeah.
Taking victory laps on injuries
All right.
of single ball players.
I have both the videos. Do you want to play them?
Yeah.
Or do you want to save them for tomorrow? Because
Play
it's
'em.
about 3 minutes in total. So
Oof. Well,
play them, then we'll wrap the show.
That'll do it for us today. We're gonna play these videos and ride out. Appreciate you guys tapping in. Make sure you smash the like button. For Easy, for
We can
Nick,
stay.
for
Let
Caleb,
Spinny leave.
for Chris, I'm Spencer. We're the Heavyweights. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.